it. Hey!
I hear it in my head.
That's a new theme song.
You hear that in your head?
Yeah.
Do you hear me in your head?
Sometimes.
Because it's Roast Mortem, and
we're
I'm here to tell you that it's just that.
Oh, I
Because
can't
we're
wait.
going extreme tonight, okay?
Oh, yeah?
My name's Tom.
My name is Travis. I'm not one of the voices in your head, but I am because you're listening to me.
I'm Mike, and I have voices in my head.
Yes.
Tight.
I'm Connor, and I'm another one of the voices in your head.
So all the things we say are running through your head, running through your head.
I can't get you guys off my mind.
Isn't that song about
Yeah.
lesbians?
That's a great song. I love that song.
I didn't say it wasn't.
Mike
just,
doesn't know
No,
what
I'm
the
just
song
saying
is.
it's a
He
great
just heard
song.
it's
No,
about
oh,
lesbians.
it's what that band Tattoo, right, Travis? Right?
Yeah, no, it
Tattoo.
was actually used in a Subaru commercial.
Right, exactly. I'm just making sure it's a progressive enough song
Subaru's a
to
good
be
car.
I
featured.
know 3 people in my life who've gotten Subarus within like the last 6 weeks.
You know me? I mean, look, I'm tucking
Travis
it in right
is
now.
Beautiful man.
Yeah. He's right there. He's scissoring our buddy Rem. He's doing it. Anyway.
These glasses hurt my ears.
Oh, yeah. So right now, for those of you at home, Travis and Mike are donning what I would call the finest piece of eyewear on this side of the hemisphere.
So we spent your Patreon money on.
That's right. We
Thanks,
bought
everyone.
Pit Vipers for everyone.
Yes.
All the
Oh,
Patreon
yeah.
money
Yep.
directly to Pit Vipers.
Thank you.
That's all.
Connors are in the
all-
mail. His head's pretty big, so we're waiting for the extended.
I need the
version.
extra turbo. As
Yes.
they
Yeah,
call it.
Yeah, extra turbo.
pit.
Yeah, we put them on, the earpieces fall off. It's crazy.
I am so excited because I'm going to do windsurfing now that I own these.
Oh, that's
Better.
tight.
I think you're legally obligated.
Yeah,
Windsurfing,
I am now.
sled necking,
Sled, yeah.
whatever the hell that is.
All right, so speaking of Pit Vipers, we should really get into the most extreme activity. How was your week? So breaking it down, being humble, giving one up to the Lord, and
excuse
telling
me.
our listeners how it's been, right? Mike, I'm going to come back to you because
Thank
you're so fucking bad at this.
What do you mean? have an excellent story to tell you.
Oh, good. You want to start then?
I mean, someone else should go first. I don't want to be the
You wanna prep
fucking
your story?
hog.
It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
Everyone else should share. You know, I want to be the hog.
Mike always
I
hogging.
don't really have
weeks.
much to share. I was just busting Tom's chops.
Wow.
I got a little story, but it's not
Consider me busted.
busting Tom's nuts.
Yeah.
Connor, how was your week?
So my week was going, good.
Yeah.
Not great, just a normal average week. And then yesterday, for the first time in my life, I was pulled over by an officer of the law. From-
First time?
First time ever.
First time.
5-0.
State trooper on Ocean Parkway. So definitely was speeding. There's
Yeah.
Nothing around.
State trooper. Also, you couldn't call any friends.
no.
Yeah.
I
'Cause they
texted
hate
my
friends.
one friend who was a cop, and he was like giving me some advice about it, and then he goes, "Was it a local guy?" I was like, "No, trooper." He goes, "Oh, you're fucked."
Yeah.
That was his only response. He just goes, "You're fucked."
Just like relax.
That quota time, Connor. You know.
They
I know.
got cool hats. I mean,
They
they
didn't
can do
even
whatever
wear
they want.
hats. That was the annoying part. They didn't even look cool.
He wasn't wearing a hat.
No, they're in like their summer grays.
Oh well,
bullshit.
you know what?
Fuck.
I think you just got scammed, dude. That was some guy that
I'll plead not
that
guilty
runs
and
Uber.
say I don't think they were state troopers. They did not have hats.
yeah.
You could do that. Not wearing uniform.
That might work.
Might happen. Well, so what? How much do you owe now?
I don't know. It literally happened last night.
Oh, damn.
So
It's at least it's gonna be over like the surcharges and the administration fee is like it's like at least over
let's
200.
just say that based off the speed I was going, New York State and myself got their money's worth for my first ticket.
Okay.
I was
Hell
going
yeah.
quick. So
Mazel.
yeah,
It's such bullshit.
Dude, there's gonna be a pothole that they fill in. They're gonna write Connor on it.
I would love that. I'd visit that pothole once a month.
Yeah.
Pet it.
Pet it.
Mine
Nice
goes to the
massage.
flag waivers.
Almost lost my
Fill
car
in
on
the
you last
cracks.
week.
Yeah.
Blew up my tire.
Hell yeah. All right. So that's terrible news.
Yeah.
But I'm excited that you experienced it. So it makes character. Does
It's
it
a good
not?
story. I was upset yesterday. Still a little upset, especially when I see that bank account. But it builds character. Like I
It's all right.
said.
I'm just gonna
Live and learn.
all the leftover Pit Viper money. I will pay for your.
Yeah. Who
Think
cares
about all
about
the
money when
pit
you have
vipers.
pit vipers?
That's
Think about all the
right.
pit vipers that New York State is going to be able to buy based off my speeding ticket.
Probably a lot.
That's probably why he wasn't wearing a hat. They were transitioning to a new uniform. Pit
God.
vipers only on state troopers.
Cops would be way cooler if they wore pit vipers.
I would be more compliant.
I don't know. This is a contentious point. Maybe we can re-examine that later. But Travis, your week. How is the fire that is Portland?
Portland's still nasty, but you know, as you mentioned, I got these Pit Vipers. I've been rocking them.
You look great.
Shout out to Pit Vipers, sponsor Roast Mortem Cast, please. So I might look cool up front, but I am not so cool on the top of my head because I realize that I'm starting to go. Well, I'm losing a little bit of hair.
Oh
yeah?
Yeah, I'm losing a little bit of hair.
Yo,
Need a
Travis.
for him sponsorship.
We
Yeah,
need
right.
some
Dude.
hair sponsorship and girl shampoo, Travis. I'm telling you.
I use girl
right,
shampoo
you're
when I
fucked.
tuck it in,
Sorry.
dude.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm already fucked, dude. So another sponsor that we could possibly have, Keeps. I got myself a Keeps subscription.
Did you
Putting
really?
that juice on my head? Yeah.
You look full bodied.
Yeah, I couldn't tell from this angle that you're going bald.
Well, because I basically have, if I keep losing at this rate, I'm gonna have a gnarly comb over.
Wow.
So like all my hair just kind of like flows to one side, so
Oh.
it kind of covers up the thinning.
Okay, well, this is going to be funny to look at in a little while.
Yeah, I mean you've already seen me as male pattern baldness that one time when I shaved my whole body.
That was awesome.
if
that
you
was-
keep shaving your hair, it grows back, doesn't it?
That's what they say. I mean,
It
give it a
goes way
try.
healthier. You just
Well,
keep
I'm-
shaving your
Test
head.
that out, Mike. Test that
I
out.
might do that. I've heard that. You grow your dead hair off. It grows back strong.
I'm pissed. I've never fucking.
Chia pet.
I don't wear hats all the time. There's people that wear hats all the time. I never wear
You
hats.
need more sun.
Yeah, you have to just stop being so. You get out there.
Yeah, it could be stress related,
Could be too.
but
Might be alopecia.
maybe it might be
Not with that beard.
legs.
well, you look
Yeah.
sexy regardless, so don't worry about it.
I had alopecia once. I had like a golf ball size hair clump just fall out. It was fun.
Tom, what about you? You've got a mane going on right now.
It's line hair.
You also got
going.
a spony right now.
Yeah, I got this like
You got
weird
the side
bun.
ponytail going.
I'm trying to do a side ponytail because if I walk around with one on top of my head, everyone's gonna go, "Look at that fucking asshole."
You got a
Look
side
at-
bun.
Look at this LA shithead walking around.
This long
No,
That's
you
often
guy.
what I think. When
I'd
I
rather
see
look
Tom with
retarded.
the top
Yeah.
one.
I'd rather look retarded with the side bun than look like
Let me see the side
that
bun.
I'm
Let me see.
pretentious.
Oh, I see. I
See?
see. I
With the
see.
top
Yeah,
on.
It's a
yeah,
spone.
Yeah, so
like
this is
it.
what I do.
Apparently that is the real. You know, you watch the Vikings, right, and you see Ragnar with like my haircut, but
Right.
apparently that's what Vikings used to wear. Like
Side
Norse
buns?
people, they used to wear a ponytail in the front of their head.
That's sick. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, because you
unicorn?
don't want someone grabbing it from behind.
Yeah.
They were
Anyway,
emo.
so that's how I live. I just got back from Chicago the other day.
How's that?
It was awesome.
The Windy City.
I heard this from a Uber driver that it is called the Windy City not because of the wind, but rather the politics.
Really?
Apparently,
Yeah.
their
I thought it was
city-
because of the. I thought it was because of the Chicago dogs. It gets windy after you eat those.
I didn't eat one, and I'm really
Oh,
mad that
my
I
God.
couldn't get that on my sketch.
Did you have
Okay?
What
pizza?
the fuck is wrong with you? Justin goes
We
to
talked about
Chicago
this.
last year and he doesn't get fucking deep dish, and then you
All right, first,
don't get a Chicago dog?
at the risk of sounding redundant to some of my diehard fans out there, on Heavy Hole, I already ranted about the pizza. If you like bullshit, then you get a deep dish pizza.
All right. Glad. That's all we need
Fuck
to hear.
you, Chicago.
That's all
No,
we need.
honestly,
good.
Chicago's
Pizza
a
pie.
great city, but your opinion on pizza is massively flawed.
Well, yeah, it's not a pizza, it's a casserole.
But
I'm
I
hungry
can't believe
now.
you didn't get one of their dogs because Chicago dogs are amazing.
This is something I was looking forward to, but I drink too much. And when I drink too much, I forget to do common man things. I'm out there doing extraordinary man things. I'm telling other people how to live. It's great. But
You really
Windy
dropped the
City-
ball on that time.
thanks.
Yeah.
We're gonna
I'm coming to
continue
you
to,
for a
shit
fucking.
on you for
I'm
this.
gonna ask you how your week is, like any second now. Can't wait for you to drop the ball.
Where's that story, Mike? Can't wait to hear that story.
All right, cool, great. Anyway, Chicago is a beautiful place, and the Windy City thing comes from the amount of council members that they have in City Hall. They have 57 or 58 council members, and they've all managed to make full-time jobs out of it, and nothing gets done in the city. For comparison, New York has 7 or 8 council
I was gonna
members.
say it sounds like a lot.
So it's basically a city that can't get shit done, and every politician's a windbag, which makes sense. I mean, what Lori Lightfoot? She's such a butthole. I want to
also,
fart on
didn't
her,
they-
but then it might be a hate crime. I don't know.
They had that big thing where like all the cops like had a black site, like, you know, like an off-site fucking off the radar where they were like humping people's legs and shit. I don't
Who
know.
cares? Who cares? It's a city of dogs, hot dogs. Let them hump legs. Who cares?
hot dog.
All right. Either way, I do really like Chicago. I Can't wait to go back. I had an awesome time. I met up with Grant and Kevin from Thought Cops. I did a live show. Well, I watched a live show with them. And they're very funny live. And then I went to another podcast show because it just so happened to be playing Who Are These Podcasts with Carl. I don't even know Carl's last name, but that was fun. I met Dick Masterson and Crippled Jesus there.
Crippled Jesus, what's his? Who Gives a Shit?
Who Gives a Shit with Adam from Houston. That's a great show. It's a lot of fun.
I keep telling Adam, we got to get Adam on the show.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that. We have to arrange that with Adam, and we're going to, I think Woody Allen, I'm going to make a preemptive script because I think Crippled Jesus hates Jews, and that's funny to me. So let's get him on. I'm looking forward to getting them both in the show. But look, what I am looking forward to is before we get on our script, Mike, how was your week?
He's got a story.
I don't know. It's not really a story. It's more like a realization of like what's really inside me. I was sitting in traffic, and that's probably a really boring story.
No, tell me.
Tell me, dude. Come on.
So
you've already got me so hyped up. I mean,
Yeah.
Chicago means
Sitting
I'm
in
waiting at this
traffic.
fucking light, and the lady in front of me lets the fucking person go in front.
Bullshit.
And the light changes to fucking red. I'm like, all right, I'll get one. It's all right. You let go. Come on. And then there's so much traffic on the other side that people keep like going in the intersection, so you can't go around because people are trying to make lefts.
Right.
That makes any sense. It's a clusterfuck. And the light keeps changing. Like it keeps like going from like green to red. Like I'm waiting. It keeps changing. And I finally get to like the light where it's about to be my turn. I can cross the intersection. Or I'm in front of someone. Someone's in front of me, and then it's like we're like the first two cars to go.
Right.
All right. Does it make it clear still?
Very clear.
I got a good picture.
And this motherfucker they park right in the front, and this person like won't go around. So I start laying on the horn like, go, like follow. I just had enough. And then like, I turned around as I'm crossing the intersection. I gave the person the middle finger. I like laid down on my horn and drove away. And then I got home and I realized like, damn, that was insane. I need to chill out and like came to a
Relax.
realization.
I think that was the perfect, appropriate reaction to have.
You put I
That
went
situation.
insane though.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, like,
Let
I really
your rage
stopped.
out in the car,
Yeah.
and then it won't affect your day to day.
True. Also, contain the rage so it's funny.
Yeah, but it was pretty funny at the moment. I was
It
like,
wasn't funny to me. That was a terrible story.
terrible. I was like, it was
Wait,
kind of,
I
a
completely-
coming
I
of age
completely-
story of anger, I guess you could say.
I completely blanked out. What happened? What was he? He was sitting in traffic
Can you
and he
cut
ordered
this story out,
Domino's
Zwick?
and then got home.
It's staying. This is staying.
And that's
an
how-
example of how Mike's week has been, and I won't have it any other way.
And that's why you don't drive cars.
Right. Okay.
Don't drive cars.
Amazing.
Everyone should drive the cars that are in
It's like,
cars.
I listen to the
movie.
podcast. You don't cut anything out. I tell you to cut out. God damn it! If you don't cut this out, I swear to God, that's a bad story. Why
I'll
don't you
give
guys
you-
let me tell that story?
I'll let
You said you had a story to tell.
You told us.
I did.
Yeah.
I thought it would be good.
I think it's a great story, Mike. And I think that you should ask me what we're doing today because we have formalities
been
on the
wasting
show,
time.
I guess.
What are we doing today, Tom?
Who's on the block tonight?
Thanks. I appreciate you asking because the man we're doing tonight has taken up a lot of my time recently, emotionally. I'm very attached to this man. If you listen to the show, I would have to say one thing. If this isn't your first episode, to set a preface, move over, Cary Grant. There's a new man in Tom's heart.
Oh,
There's someone who I not only look up to, but I'm truly infatuated with his body of work and even his body.
Wow.
I will
Tom.
summarize him through his own quotes for you. I do not live in the world of sobriety. And the better class of person is in a pub.
Oh, okay. All right. I like this. I like this. I like this.
that's
Yes.
beautiful.
We're talking about
Who is
Oliver
this?
Reed.
I don't know who that is.
All right, if you haven't heard Oliver Reed, it's okay. This is a good place to start because
That's why I'm here.
I'm going to do my best job to summarize and tell you what's going on. But also, there's a lot to cover here, so I can't possibly cover it all without dragging you through days of mud. In fact, I think I could start a whole show based on Oliver Reed. Like
Really?
truly, not just one episode, not 3 episodes.
You could do like a filmography, like watch each of his movies, and
yes, I
deep
could
dive on him.
just week to week what has happened in his life. I could probably do a show that's at least 60 to 70 episodes.
Pretty dope.
Spin-off series.
Yeah, there you go, Tom.
Roast Reed.
Roasting Reed.
Host Reed.
Roasting Reed.
Roasting Reeds.
He's a phenomena amongst men. His acting moved the air, they say. He mastered the art of stillness. Even more than acting, this guy pounded more liquor, drank more beer, and destroyed more property, and punched more faces than any subject on the show so far.
Holy shit.
Damn.
Right. His acting
tall
career,
order.
I believe he's in over 120 films.
That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. And
Yeah,
he's up
that's-
and down. His career is up and down.
That's
And
about a
it's-
little bit less than Bruce Willis or Samuel L. Jackson.
It's like 1 year of being a porn star.
Yeah, it's not enough Johnny Sins, I would say that.
They weren't hazardous enough to have on set to deter producers from bringing them on. We'll get into that. We got to start. Born the 13th of February, 1938, in Wimbledon, London, to Peter Reed, who was a cowardice journalist. We'll get into it. And his wife, Marcia Napier Andrews. Now, Oliver had acting in his blood. His grandfather, Sir Herbert Beerbohm Tree, founded the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts in 1904.
Tom, you gotta stop right there. Beard Bomb?
No, Beerbohm.
Is the most
Beer-
English name I've ever heard in my life. Can you
Oh, I
say that
love
again?
get a beer bomb. I'll give you
Sir
we got
Herbert Beerbohm Tree.
Sir Herbert Beerbohm Tree.
That's right. And his father's brother was Sir Carroll Reed, famous director of The Third Man, to name one of his 50 directed works that he did.
Third
Carroll
Man?
Reed, yeah, The Third Man. It's considered one of the finest pieces of film from the English film industry,
Oh.
which also
I
has
thought that
its
was
waves.
Mr. Bean.
No, it's Mr. Bean Goes on Holiday.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
One-
so
the one where
Mr.
he's on the
Bean
car.
level.
Like I said, his dad was a coward.
Why's that?
I'll tell you. He was a conscientious, I can't say his fucking word,
Conscientious.
conscientious objector.
What's that
Which
mean?
means that during wartime, he chose to not fight, and his service was limited to medical.
Which war are we talking about? World War I or World War II?
World War II.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, he's a coward. I'd
That's
be
what
like,
I'm
if
saying.
it was World War I, I'd be like,
I'd be like,
okay.
smart man. He got out of the
Yeah.
trenches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now
World War
it's like
II.
you got,
Yeah, World War II, you got fucking Dunkirk and the Nazis fucking bombing London.
Yeah.
And he's like,
this guy's
I
like,
don't know. Maybe we should stay out of this. Maybe we should just let them bomb us.
Hands off, guys. Hands off.
now, I'm not sure if that him being a coward had anything to do with his relationships being on the rocks, but with his wife, it sure was on the rocks. Okay? Like I said, he's a total coward. So the mom ends up running away from the father with just Ollie, leaving his brother with the Peter.
Yeah,
the dad.
that's
So
bad.
David, the older Peter, David, the older
Oh.
brother, he's left with Peter, and Ollie's away with mom.
That's like the clearest which of your kids is your favorite.
Yeah,
Oh,
fact.
Yeah.
So bad. It's like,
I'm running out of here and I'm taking just one of you.
yeah, I'll take the two.
You suck, kid.
You got more time.
Yeah, so Ollie does see wartime. A Nazi actually crashed near his house in a plane. It was a cottage that they were living in, outside of Wimbledon, somewhat country-esque, but far enough away from London.
And his dad is still a conscientious objector. Like, some
Yeah.
kraut fucking stumbles out of his bush and he's like, hello. And he's like, I will shoot you and rape kids.
Well, everyone calm down. This man
No
might
need to
not
fight.
want
No
to
need to fight.
kill and rape kids now.
It sounds like Portland with their hobo situation.
It's just like that. It's
No need
identical.
to chuff your britches.
So Ollie's with his mother from a very young age. I think it was like 3 or 4. She moved away with the kid, and she introduces him to pretty much just like being around bar culture because she worked in a bar. The place they lived was, I think it was next to a bar. I'm not sure if it was on top or under, but either way, she was working this place, and he met a lot of World War II soldiers, trainees, corporals, everyone there who was doing training. There was all kinds of training happening there,
Well,
and people had seen some shit. So they would come by and they'd hang out with Marcia, who was a little bit Marcia, who was a little bit of a wartime whore. Shout out to her and shout out to them.
Gotta make that money,
Did she get some American dick too? Because I
Girl
know
boss.
the Americans were over there training.
There's
Yes.
like 2 million Americans in Britain by
Yeah.
like 1943.
Dude, it was she liked the Americans. Marcia was a fan.
Those
She should like
ballpark
them
Franks,
American
you know what I
boys.
mean?
Right. So they did a couple of years of this, and Ollie, by the time he's like 5 or 6, let's say, Connor, fix your microphone.
Did she write that song like "You'll be an American boy, American boy"? Take
Yeah,
me
that's stupid.
to-
That's her, actually. She's dead now. Whoever wrote that.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow. What a great ghostwriter.
Makes me go to like shop somewhere.
So she's doing the dick down. She's having a good time. So after a while, Peter comes up to the cottage and drops off David, the older brother. Now, Ollie had totally forgotten that he had an older brother. So
Oi.
his initial reaction when meeting his older brother, which I like this a lot, was throw his dog over the banister in excitement.
Wait,
It's like a
Tom.
celebration.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking when you said throw his dog off the banister. I thought that was some type of English expression.
No,
but
but
did
that-
he actually throw his dog off of the banister?
Yeah, he took some little fucking shitty Chihuahua thing or whatever that and just like threw it over the banister. I think it was like, hey, here's your older brother.
Oi.
And Ollie's like,
I gotta throw my
what
dog.
now?
They abused my dog. Oh.
Yeah, I think he was trying to impress him.
Oh,
It was weird.
How
He's
high
a
is the
weird kid.
banister we talking? How high? Is it
Look
like
at my dog. Look at how he can land.
second story or some shit? Like, what is this
I
dude
guess
doing?
we're going second story, Mike.
Second story. What a piece of shit.
Nah, he's great.
Is
He's a
this
kid.
roast mortem? We're supposed to roast this dude, Tom. What the fuck?
Nah, because
Tom
I
fell,
like him.
Tom fell in love with
Who
dogs.
likes this guy? You kidding
I
me?
likes this guy.
Ah, Peter, hello.
It's turning into toast morning now.
Well, I'm just saying that does sound like a Cockney
Like,
expression, dude. Oh, throw your dog off a banister.
Don't worry. He if you
that's my
could,
fucking dog, you piece of shit.
well, look, if you could surmise a expression that isn't the literal version of that, he does that plenty later. So
All
it's
right.
not a problem. Okay, you'll get your fill of that, you sick fucks.
Well, I lived over there, so yes, it is an expression. I remember
Oh, it's
hearing
an
that
expression.
many times.
Throw your dog over your banister, ain't it? All right. So after I mentioned that there was a Nazi airplane that crashed around the house, but after that they remained fairly unimpacted by the war. It was really like a London thing and other areas, Liverpool, that was getting bombed and shit. But where they were, they didn't see anything else. They did see the troops though. They saw them practicing paratrooping and stuff on a local bridge. So Oliver is like, oh, that looks sick as fuck. So what he does is that he forgets that he doesn't know how to swim, and he goes and he wants to hang out and make an impression with the boys. So he goes onto this bridge and jumps off of it.
Oh, I forgot. I don't know how to swim.
Yes, that is gnarly too.
Exactly.
Now you know how to swim to
I-
do that shit.
Well,
How do you not know how to swim? You just move your limbs around.
I don't know.
Sometimes-
they
I don't
jump
know.
off
I
a
just never
bridge?
understood
Sometimes
that.
you don't even move your limbs just to float. Like,
Yeah, just float.
I guess you panic. You're like, I don't know what's going on. You know, you don't know how to swim.
It's just like running. You just move your legs.
Yeah, he
But this dude's
figured it
jumping
out.
off a bridge. He's like, oh wait, I don't know how to swim. I forgot.
He figured it out like halfway through the air. But this is the kind of guy Ollie was his whole life.
Like
He's
a
just
savage.
like, let's
jump,
just do it.
jump first,
That's a
learn how to
badass.
swim later.
He's 6 or
Yeah.
7. It's not like
What? I would never do that at 7. You're a badass.
Well,
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
why you're not a famous Hollywood actor,
Fuck.
Mike.
that's why I'm ready to sacrifice a dog or two.
For
Yeah.
this
I
guy.
gotta start doing
Off the
that.
banister.
Just for fun. So anyway, he jumps off the bridge, and lo and behold, there is a trainer who sees him this happening and goes, ah, as the English does, and he jumps off into the water and saves him. And the man who saved him, he went by the name of Lovely Gravy.
Oh, I like that.
Oh,
What a sexual
He had
name.
some lovely gravy.
Yeah. How English was that? And I think that this Lovely Gravy guy was laying pipe in his old mama there.
oh yeah,
I
definitely.
think Marcia got some of that lovely gravy.
Great,
Yeah.
yeah.
She was
Or
ready. She got the
lovely-
money shot.
Lovely jubbly gravy in it.
These fish and chips are great.
I'm up on me toes.
Oh, let me give you a lovely gravy in the black pudding. Oh,
Oh, throw my dog off the banister. Thanks.
Throw me dog off the banister to be Lovely Gravy, isn't it?
love, you want a spotted dick of lovely gravy?
Enough of this dirty talk. So Marcia, she's she's cold to her children. She's like, I'm busy. I'm busy taking pens. I got this disgraceful husband who's not patriotic. I got to do my part as a woman. And I got to fuck as many of these dudes as possible.
Didn't have OnlyFans back then.
So that happened for a bit. That was cool. The three of them were up in out in Wimbledon chilling, or the countryside now. Rather, not Wimbledon. They moved back to Wimbledon though, as I believe the bar situation dried up. Something like that happened, and they move in with none other than a man named Lancelot, who is Marcia's dad, who seemed to be one of the funnest drunks out there. He served in World War I, and he was as racist as you can get. But the fun kind, because it was about other white people.
Oh,
okay. Like Krauts.
Against Italians and Germans.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Great. Good
That's
stuff.
the fun
stuff.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun one. We can all take a jab here or there, you fucking Hungarians. I don't even know a racial slur for a Hungarian.
We're all European descendants, so we can be racist to other European.
Of course. That's
I'm 100% American. Don't ever get it twisted.
You're Native American. Well, I'm sorry for stealing your land.
Yeah. You better be sorry.
So, Grandpa
was that sorry, Mike, was that a Native American accent you were trying to do?
No.
Or was that
How
just
dare you say I
Hi.
would try and say something in America, to take away from society?
How dare you? So you got to sneak those in.
I was Italian. I'm sorry to get you guys all flustered like that.
You're stuck on Gotti. I know you.
Continue with the script, Ty. We're getting off topic with my
Sure
talk.
are. We sure are.
So this guy's racist.
Yeah, this guy's racist.
European.
But he's fun racist. He's the kind of guy who like downs a pint of gin and then marches around the living room playing some old English biddies, singing the songs, saying shit about Krauts, letting the kids crawl all over him while he's down on all fours, I'm a tank, and we're gonna go crush the Krauts.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna kill
a lot
Jerry.
of his patriotism from this guy. Unfortunately, he was killed only 6 or 7 months into them being with him in an airstrike. Just blown up while heading to the car. He's just like, I've got me gin, I'm ready to beef eat, if you know what I mean. And then blam, he's gone.
Do you think he was like flipping off the German bombers as they're going by, and that?
Oi.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, they saw it.
They're like, fuck that guy.
I was going to not bomb you.
Hans, do you see that guy down there? He's flipping us off, I think.
Oh, let's make a big old U-turn in our U-boat of the sky.
He is flipping us off the eagle. We must give him a big boom boom.
Could you imagine a guy named Lancelot just standing like next to a bush,
Oi,
screaming
you
for
fucking
hours?
chums.
Yeah. Get off me airspace! I'll call the boys up on you.
Yeah,
That's my drone space in it. I need to record myself doing my vlog. Me vlog.
Yeah, you vlogger.
So after Lancelot was slaughtered by a dirty Kraut,
Oi.
Marcia sent the kids to boarding school, which Oliver, of course, was not a fan of. He felt tricked because she was just like, "Yeah, get in the car. We're going for a drive. Also, bring all your belongings."
Did
The
they
kids
have
are like, they're like, I don't know.
I've been hoodwinked.
Did they have
all knew
money?
stuff.
Did they have money, or was this just like every kid in England is Harry Potter and goes to boarding school?
So yeah, here's what's interesting about. That's a great question. There was some money there. It
Okay.
was not. They weren't tremendously wealthy. In fact, earlier when they were up in the cottage, they were rather poor. But I think after Lancelot died, there was money in the family. So Oliver's education is extremely spotty. He never did the boarding school all the way through, as I'll get into in a bit.
He never took his A levels.
I don't even know what that means.
It's like the British SATs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like
no,
when
he didn't.
Canadians say like grade 12 or something.
Grade A.
Yeah, your A levels determine what university you go to, what
okay.
uni you go to.
Well, he never went
Uni.
to a uni. He
Fresh
wasn't a
as
good
week.
student at all.
Excuse me.
He was a class clown, and he was dyslexic, but back then they didn't really know what that was.
He was
So-
mentally disabled back then.
Yeah.
Like, I swear I'm dyslexic to a degree. I have to be, because I'm so bad at everything.
I get my numbers fucked, dude. I'm like, "Oh, dude, you see that? See that chick 96, bro?
Yeah, you would. You would.
Yeah.
No, that's just a woman whose back of the head is in another woman's ass, and vice versa.
They're just laying ass to head.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
doing
is still
something
hot.
awful.
I'd still watch it.
Is it? It looks like two confused women's.
It's two naked women. You're gonna
Are they
watch.
naked? No, I
Yeah.
thought they were clothes when they're 96. That's
Oh,
why.
I- okay.
They're in
Fully
power
clothed.
suits.
Yeah.
They're in power. So even more reason to watch if they're in power
Oh yeah,
suits.
well, a lot of lubricant there.
This is how you get ahead. So, Marcia, she becomes a traveling actress. Like I said, they have acting in the blood. Not a lot of notoriety, but she would visit the boys every now and then at school. And overall, not that close with the kids. Very heartbreaking. And Peter was like, he's a coward as a wimp, and his kids knew it. By the time they were like 10, they're like, you're kind of a bitch, Dad, Wouldn't go fight the war. I met a guy
didn't
named
fight the
Lovely
Nazis.
Gravy.
Yeah.
This Lovely Gravy guy, he's out there fucking my mom, which you're supposed to be doing,
Yeah.
and fighting Nazis, which
like
you're
that-
supposed to be doing.
Dad, how come you're not boofing potato mashers right now?
It's true. So he gets kicked out of boarding school because he's just kind of silly. They didn't see any promise in him. And also, Peter, his father, couldn't pay the old tuition. He was between jobs a lot, this guy. Then Oliver and David were shipped around to various relatives. They never really stayed with anyone for more than a few weeks. And then eventually they move in with Peter and his new wife, Kay, into an old cottage.
Boy,
Now, Peter and Kay would leave the kids at the cottage in Wimbledon and then go to work in London during the week. So they had no supervision whatsoever.
that's sick.
That's cool, yeah.
That's what my parents did.
That would be sick. Except for, what happens. No, it doesn't
What
matter.
cool
Becoming
times?
a famous Hollywood
Yeah,
actor.
we're having a good time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Tom.
you're right, actually. I'm just kidding around.
Yeah,
I'm
doing
just messing.
2,000 movies
Yeah.
with Bruce Willis?
Let me just become
Right.
a genius real quick as my parents go to work. you know?
Right. So anyway, he's going to some school up there, and he eventually gets kicked out of that one, and he goes to a school called Ewell Castle for kids with special needs. Their approach to special needs are just like, oh, you don't read fast. You're in this, whatever.
Hang
so
out.
Ollie liked it. You're hanging out.
It's like remedial science.
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Math
I
for the
can put it,
college bound. That's what I was in.
I can put it in Cockney. It's oi, you're the toad's legs. That means
They
that
still
you're slow.
beat the kid.
Is that right?
Yeah. No,
Is
I
the
don't.
toad's legs?
You're the toad's legs. Why don't you get a
Oh.
kebab down on Governor Street?
Yeah. You dropped a camel's piss penny from a mile away.
Don't throw your dog off the banister.
Could you imagine if that was a real thing I just said?
Did Oliver ever get a beat down in school? Because I know I was big back then. They were
No,
beating the shit out
Oliver,
of
good
kids.
question. Very
Yeah.
good question. Oliver became somewhat of a bully.
Oh, he's bullying the teachers?
He starts bullying everyone. He's kind of tough. He's a tough kid.
Right. So he's listening to saliva and shit, and he's shopping on Hot Topic.
yeah.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what he was doing. So even though he was kind of brain, dumb, he excelled in sports, though. He won every single track event for some school event.
Oh,
Which it was him versus their school versus a couple other schools, and he actually won every single event at this thing.
That's nice
And
with
he was walking back to his home, and a police officer stopped him, and he assumed all those medals were stolen. So Peter had to go tell the cop. He's like, "Nah, he's just retarded and really good."
No, he's
at doing
stupid
the
as
sports."
shit, but he's
Yeah.
fucking fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this Forrest Gump you're telling us right now, Tom?
Honestly, no. When I say stupid, I mean on paper, very stupid.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Yeah.
he could write a note to you and be like, what kind of fucking child is this? But when you hear the guy speak, you're like,
He's magic.
so smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm kind of surprised you said track and not some made up sport
Yeah.
rounders or water polo or men's field hockey.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, you play rugby or footy or
So he wasn't good with sports teams. He did play later on. He
that
played
makes sense.
some rugby. He liked the aggression end of
Yeah.
it, but he was never really a.
not a team
Not
player.
Chad.
Yeah, he was the kind of guy you drop on a track and he could outrun everyone, or you
Okay.
can give him a ball and say throw it, and he would throw it further than anyone. But
Right,
he
like
wasn't
kind
really
of
a team-
kind of like the whole carrot on the stick thing, but he's got a pint in front of him.
Don't let it spill. Don't let it spill.
Now, he felt like he needed to prove his manhood in a way because, his dad was such a bitch. And he was like, all right, I need to be better than my dad. So he picks up the habit of arm wrestling everywhere he goes. All the time. He's just challenging people to arm wrestling. It's cool. So a few years go by. He's 17, and he leaves his family home with Peter to go live with his grandma in London. He starts going to strip clubs, having other fun stuff. He was offered a job in a classy strip joint because he broke up a fight on the spot.
Ooh.
Like, some guys started fighting, and he just stepped in. I think he actually beat one of the other guys up and threw him out. And the manager came out, saw what happened, offered him a job, and there he is, 17-year-old,
Bouncer.
working in a strip club. It's got to be cool.
What's the
pretty
year
sick.
for this? Is this
Well,
like the
he's born in
50s?
1938, so now he's 17. Sorry, I didn't do math on this one. So
That's
So
probably
55.
Yeah.
55. There you go.
all right? 1955.
That sounds about right.
And he's like, all right,
Classic
boys, come on
strippers.
in, see the lady giblets.
Right. And he liked it. I mean, well, how could you not? You're 17 years old and you're just keeping guys to making sure their pants stay on.
Yeah.
And you're watching tits all day because he didn't really have to do anything
Yeah.
at this job.
Well,
it was just like the.
Hey, don't fight, and we can all look at tits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do think being a bouncer for a strip club would be kind of difficult. And if you are one, please let us know because someone could just have a stiffy and it could look like a knife.
Could
And
look
knife
like a
crime is very big in England.
Well,
so
because
your
they took away their
trousers-
guns. Give them the
True.
guns back.
No Second Amendment in the
Really?
in the, whatever the fuck the
UK?
can't remember the word for it.
I don't know.
Is that a sticker?
What is their constitution called?
No, it's the what's like the thing that they made King John sign.
Magna
Oh,
Carta.
Magna Carta?
That's the one.
Oh,
There's no
okay, yeah,
Second
yeah.
Amendment in the Magna
Brexit.
Carta.
They should have had that one. Martin Luther should have been
First
like,
Amendment.
"It's
Guns.
So I was over there when I was over there. I mean, this was what 15 years ago now, but I remember they had a knife amnesty day where you could turn your knife in. But it's like, dude, I could stab someone with a butter knife. It doesn't fucking matter.
Doesn't matter.
I mean,
They're just trying to sell you something.
You got to get a knife license like Gordon Ramsay. You like,
Yeah.
chop, chop, chop. This is an instrument of culinary devices, and that's about it.
Knives
Cut
are
up
handy.
those
It's good to
onions,
have knives
idiot!
on
You fucking idiot.
There'll be no whittling around it.
Now he has
So-
his children slaughter pigs.
That's why British food is gross, is because they're not allowed to have sharp knives.
It's true. It's all mushy peas that they made with their asses.
Yeah.
So he's like working in this strip club, and he's like, these ladies actually kind of suck. Because they're all like stupid looking. You know,
get
when
used
you're
to
a
it
kid,
after a while.
when you're a kid, it's awesome. But then your brain is working a million miles an hour. So like day 5 on the job, you're like, I don't want to be there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So Oliver picks up boxing, and he did 2 like official referee fights. Then he quit. He was it was a good brawler, but he was like, once again, I'm not into the rules. Not into the rules. He became an orderly at a hospital, and his job was to drive these dead people to the mortuary.
That's cool.
Pretty
Oh, a
cool gig.
mortician, dude. Yeah.
Quiet job.
Right, mortician, extra sick.
Pay for
At
your gas.
18, dude, they just gave him the petrol. I think they call
Petrol.
over there.
Petrol over there?
Yeah, over there they call it petrol. So they just drive him out. They put him in his little mini. They
Get a
put
couple of liters of petrol.
Yeah, the morticians only drive minis, so you have to fold the bodies in half
That's fucking
Yep.
dope.
over ice. And then you just dump them in the Thames.
Yeah. You can Bernie Lomax them if you want.
Hey, save
That's why
space.
Mini started making the Countryman, because they were like, we got to just make the bodies fit.
No, it's only sold in the U.S. because
Just a
we're
little
fat
bit.
as fuck here.
There we go.
It's true.
Yeah, we are.
It's true. At 18, the mandatory military service begins. Oliver is eager to serve. You see, he's embarrassed by his dad. Can I lay that on enough? His dad's a bit...
Right, so we're talking. Were the British involved in Korea? They were, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he had a slim chance of going to Korea, but they had a small army. By
It was
that point.
just after the Korean conflict that he got involved in it. So it
and he
was-
missed the
so
Suez
it was-
crisis. What a shame.
Yeah.
So this is like 58.
Okay.
This
So
is
he's not
taking
doing
place-
anything.
No,
Yeah.
he's in the Royal Army Medical Corps, and he did really like the military life. He was into it. He's He wants to, I don't know, maybe he forced it on himself because his dad just couldn't hack it or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is like a lifelong thing for him, right? The love of the military.
Yeah, he always loved the military, this guy.
Maybe it's the structure of like the routine.
He likes the idea of he's ultra
Something
patriotic.
stable.
You're like, here's an example. I'm going to just skip ahead to paint how patriotic this man was. At one point, he's filming a movie in Austria. And he went to a pub, and the gimmick of the pub is that it has every country around the world's flag all over the place. But it's missing the old Union Jack. So Ollie Reed calls the manager out, probably after about 4 bottles of gin, and he goes, I'm going to be back here tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Okay? If there isn't a Union Jack in your bar, I'm going to fuck your place up.
Damn.
So the manager didn't get the Union Jack. Next day, sure enough, Ollie Reed shows up and broke every fucking table and window in the place.
Damn.
So
Must show his pride.
So he basically took that bar and Brexited it out of existence.
That's right.
Do you know if they had the individual country flags? Like, did they have the St. George Cross for England, or is it just no British Isles
I have
recognized?
no idea, but
except for the Republic of Ireland, I'm guessing.
I had, let's see, the book I read for this, it's fantastic. It's called What Fresh Lunacy This Is. No, What Fresh Lunacy Is This? Pardon me. It is a brilliant book. It is so much fun. It didn't get into detail on that. And it gets into a lot of detail on everything else. So what I have here is just a sliver.
No Union Jack.
No Union Jack. That's all we know.
Yeah.
He probably would have been, I'm guessing, no English flag either if he gets this upset.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he was.
He'd probably get a
the-
boner if the St. George was there. He'd be like, "You
I
British
was gonna
pride,
say,
dickhead!"
Which is like,
Fuck
this is a
this
shame
Scottish."
because the Welsh flag is fucking awesome. It's got
Oh,
a
yeah.
dragon on it.
Yeah, that is
How
weird.
could you not include that?
I don't know. I think it was just the Union Jack. But
So-
either way, I mean, I just
Either
want
way,
to get
enough
ahead.
to piss off.
Yeah,
Oliver.
because a lot of this script is going to turn it into just like antics of his. We're
Where's the
going through a
American flag?
chronological point until he's a superstar. We're going to talk about his acting career, and then we're going to dive into some of the
Antics.
craziest shit.
Tom, I thought you were going to talk about all 120 film season.
that's
will-
on the Patreon podcast that Tom's gonna do.
Yeah, okay, that's right. Thank you,
Spin-off.
Connor. Thank you, Connor. I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll be there every Thursday.
It'll be watch-alongs with Tom.
I actually want to do that for one of his films. I'm thinking of
Which one?
Burnt Offerings.
Burnt off.
Yeah, that's a really good film. Horror stuff. Or Paranoiac, which is an older Hammer film he did.
Hammer.
love
MC
Hammer
Hammer?
films.
Yeah.
Fuck does that
Or
mean?
The Brood. We'll get into this.
All right.
Okay, yeah,
Continue.
keep going, Tom.
Sorry, we're getting distracted.
It's cool. You guys see how
We
I'm
like this
gushing.
guy.
I could talk about him all day. Really.
Hammer time.
Now, like I say, he takes to the military life very well. He was even considered to be an officer for no reason other than his voice and his accent and charisma. His seniors, if you would, were like, hey, this guy would make a good drill sergeant, commanding officer of ways. And then he applied for the job, and then he had to do a written part on it.
Right.
And when the supervising officers read the written part, they were like, what the fuck? He spelled every word wrong. He wrote gallons like Gallnes.
It's very British to be like, he's got a nice voice, so he's gonna be an officer.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
And I like, if you're at home right now, pause the episode, go listen to an Oliver Reed interview. You would think this guy read every book on the face of the planet. His
Yeah.
vocabulary is fantastic. Mike, not you. You're not at home.
He's got a real spunk in the tip.
He's got a sexual voice.
Very sexual. Someone has a.
it's sensual.
It's a
Sensual.
quiet voice, but
Yes.
it's demanding.
His voice, his name is pretty interesting. Oliver. I like
Oliver
that name.
Reed.
I was almost named
Actually,
Oliver.
I don't know why.
Were you actually?
Oh,
I
like-
totally fucked up because that's
what?
not
Yeah,
even-
what's his? It's like Charles Oliver Reed.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
Oliver's his middle name, and I totally
Drop
forgot.
the ball.
But no, Mike, he's got the type of voice where it's like Tom said, where it's like he can be really quiet, but it commands the room because everyone
assert
wants to
dominance.
stop and listen to him.
He's the
Because
alpha.
you'll hear it and you'll be like, "Ooh, he sounds important. I gotta listen to what that guy's saying."
Yeah,
See what
he
you're
just
saying.
commands a certain.
authority.
He has the
Exactly.
opposite of Bill Nye's voice, who just yells
like
about
Alex
climate
Jones.
change. I think he's just got his switch is at 11.
Yeah.
Sorry, Zoe, cut this
Oliver's
out.
was like soothing and.
We're gonna play a couple clips on the
You've
show.
seen Gladiator, right, Mike?
Yeah, I think that's him.
Robert Oliver Glade. Yeah, he's
Movie?
Russell.
So
Russell
you know
Crowe,
this,
that's
yeah, he's Russell
Russell
Crowe.
Crowe.
He's the Gladiator.
That's fucking sick.
No, it's not him. It's someone else.
No,
I
he's,
promise, but he's
uh,
there.
Maximus is the dude that he's Joaquin
No,
Phoenix.
he's
No.
the he's
No,
the guy
he's not
who owns
joking.
Maximus.
Joker? What did you call him? Joker
The
Phoenix?
old guy with the beard.
That's him.
That's him.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the piercing blue eyes, who won his freedom in the Coliseum.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we just need to call.
Maximus.
We just need to call fucking Joaquin Phoenix Joker Phoenix from now on.
That's how we call him. Joker Phoenix. Yeah. He worked with Joker Phoenix. Okay, anyway, he flunks his written section to become an officer. This is kind of the theme of his life. He really overcompensates his entire life with the way he uses language. His confidence is always behind him, so you would never know that he couldn't write and couldn't read. In 1957, he was sent to Hong Kong as a medical officer. His job was to look after all the diseased penises of the troops. So he looked at a lot of cocks that had been to a lot of dirty Bangkok, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
A lot of dirty brothels.
Let me see that pee-pee.
He was like, wow, you're feeling weird in your pee-pee? Let me look. Because it was easy back then. You just shove a penicillin up there
Yeah.
Yeah.
most of the time.
I'll take the lamb condom where it was popping back then.
Dude, you're
I think
all
they
about
had
lamb
condoms.
condoms, dude.
By that time, they had the normal
Oh,
condoms.
they did? Oh.
Yeah.
I still rock the... Oh, over there made the lamb condom. Be dope.
Probably no one was wearing.
Well, no,
That's
in
just
England,
really
it
what
was,
we get back to.
yeah, in
Yeah.
England, it was the mutton
The
condom.
mutton chops.
Mutton.
the mutton chop condom.
Yeah.
He did have nice mutton chops in a lot of his movies.
He did, yeah. His role in Bill Sykes, fantastic. He was then moved to Saigon, where nothing happened, and he played sports all day.
Fire.
He leaves the army in 1958 to become a male model.
Oh, well, that sounds convenient. Fuck.
He's
He was a handsome guy.
Isn't that what Adam Driver
strapping
did?
young man.
Adam Driver was a military man, and he was like, guess
He
what?
looked at dicks.
Look at me. I have a face of a child, and I'm tall.
Does he have a face of a child? He looks like he has a face of some kind of upside down Japanese plateau building.
Yeah, no, I
Probably
guess it's
sexy.
more of a face of a Siamese cat.
Adam Driver's permanently looked 33.
Who the fuck's Adam Driver?
He's the guy from
Kylo
Star
Ren.
Wars.
Oh, who's that?
That terrible film, Star Wars.
The new one? The new Star Wars?
He's Kylo.
Oh, Cairo Jinn?
Kylo Ren.
Kylo
Kylo
Ren.
Ren.
Yeah.
Oh.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
He's Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Oh, Liam Neeson, that motherfucker.
No, he's actually Jar Jar, dog.
Oh, that's my favorite character. Who's sick.
Misa Adam Driver.
Misa and girls. Misa Liam Dundum. What's her name? Addendum? Lisa Dundum.
No,
Lena
Dundum.
Dunham?
Dundum is right.
Yeah,
Misa
Lendum
Liam
Dum
Dum.
Dum.
Misa make fake indie movies. Oliver and his friend Jack Burke, they lived together, they partied, they did a bunch of fun shit. Jack was part of the English Film Extras Union. So it got Oliver's brain thinking about that shit. Now, when I said he was a model, I don't know how successful he was, but probably not, because he didn't have any money. He sent out a CV to lots of agents asking about work. And when he came back empty-handed due to the lack of experience, he made a bunch of fake credits up for his CV and was once again met with rejection. As one call would say, none of these productions even existed.
Oh, man.
But he, you know what? I appreciate the ball.
Well, back then you could have done that and get away with that.
You could have, but
Yeah, with
not
cell
for
phones.
not for unions. Unions
Yeah.
are thorough. They have
Yeah.
all
They
day
check,
to do
yeah.
paperwork.
True.
So then he did it. Okay, he was not happy to do this, but he reached out to his father's brother, Sir Carol Reed, famous director of The Third Man, as I mentioned.
I thought you were going to say Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Not
Not
There's going to be another Lancelot.
Yeah. I mean,
I wish.
Hey, I was really hoping Lancelot would reappear.
Sir Gawain.
So he visits Sir Carol Reed for guidance. He's like, I don't want a job. I don't like nepotism. That may have been hammed up. Maybe he was looking for a job. But from his recollection, Carol was out of his mind because he didn't want his family involved in this. Like they had this mutual thing where it was like, we don't like nepotism in the family, which is the most like British lie I've ever heard in my life.
I mean, they're
Yeah,
all about
it's-
nepotism.
Seems like they were really
Yeah.
about it, and we're like, oh, we're nepotism.
Well,
what does nepotism mean?
It means
Giving
that
your family favors.
Yeah, family
Oh,
favors,
I
friend favors.
mean, that was like also, I feel like it was probably that he didn't want to be seen around his family because there's another famous man, Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent, and his mom wanted to be in all of his videos, just hanging out.
Oh, really? Was that a thing?
No, but he had made a lot of money off Bitcoin.
Good for him.
And vitamin water.
Yeah, vitamin
That's
water.
that's his real moneymaker.
Vitamin water?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a lot of money on that. So anyway, Carol recommended that Oliver sleep outside of famous filmmakers' houses and greet them every morning as they left for work. Also, he told him to watch movies all day if he wasn't going to get a formal training. So half of that's fine, but the other half is like get a tent and stay outside of Steven Spielberg's
Mike, you should
house.
try that.
I might have to do that.
Just start hanging outside Martin Scorsese's house. See if you get a
Be
job.
like, give me a job, please, dude. Come on.
Hello, I'm Woody Allen, not
Give me a
Martin
job.
Scorsese.
Give me a job. Come on.
Hello, I'll give you a job.
Give me a job. Come on.
Hello, do you know what 12-year-olds
Hi, it's
look
me,
like?
Woody
Can
Allen.
you lasso them?
Do you know any 12-year-olds?
I know a couple. You want to come to a school with me?
Wow. This is a you're driving a hard
Mike might
bargain.
get a Woody Allen.
Yeah.
gig.
Yeah, maybe.
I have the best script for a movie with this kid. I can't say it on the show.
No, you can't, but tell me later.
Oh, it is the
Off mic,
most.
off mic.
It would work so good.
Did you write it?
I didn't write it down yet. It's in my head. Me and my friend Austin have it.
Amazing.
Wait, is it the one I think you told me this is like where some girl comes in for a photo shoot and she sits on a leather couch and she's like, "Wait, you want me to take these types of pictures?"
I know a young man who looks a lot younger than he really is, and I was gonna have a movie. I can't tell it over live. It's gonna.
All right,
Mike, save it for off mic.
Yeah.
Off mic. It's off mic. I can't. Sorry.
Put a sock in
Save
it.
your $1 million pitch
This-
when you're
yeah,
hanging
this-
outside Woody Allen's
Let's
house.
get back to a real act.
Yeah.
We can
Okay.
go back to this point in time. And be like, wow, we called it.
It's gonna be good.
Great
be good.
movie.
So he did get into the Film Extras Union at some point. I think he just walked onto a job, and the extras wasn't terribly hard to get onto. So his first job was a documentary that no one remembers. It was Hello London. He got a few extra roles, but nothing that anyone would pay attention to. One day, Oliver woke up covered in red blotches and a headache, and he had bacterial meningitis, it turns out. Kind of sucked because he was basically homeless,
Oh,
and he had to stay in with his mom. He reached out to his mom. He's just like, I got this meningitis, and I can't do no work now. So he's homeless, and he goes back with his mom. This is fine. What are you going to do? He's young.
Yeah.
So he meets his new stepfather, who took a liking to him.
Is his name
Is this gravy-
Todd?
is-
This is Gravy Man.
I was gonna say, is it Gravy Man?
I wish it young gravy, lovely
Young
gravy.
Gravy. Hell yeah.
This
That's
wasn't
his
Lovely
fucking
Gravy. It
name.
was Young Gravy.
Yeah, it was young gravy. Let's just imagine this fellow's name is Young Gravy.
Let's imagine he
he-
is Young Gravy.
So he took a liking to him. He's just like, oh yeah, it's Oliver chap. You're all right. Your son's cool, but he's got no clothing because he dressed like shit. So this guy was he was an English gentleman. He used to lend Oliver his suits to go try to get jobs in, but Oliver started getting into some crazy shit. So here we go. The stepfather's like, we're not doing this anymore. You've burnt holes in all of my suits that I lent you, and they're all covered in vomit. So you're going to go stay in your aunt's apartment in London. She's in Egypt for a while, so who cares? So David, the older brother, he gets out of the army, and he also pursues a career in acting. I think he was in the army longer because he was an officer. Oliver started dressing all weird for some reason at this point.
He's a hipster.
Yeah, like the beatniks. This is
Okay.
the beatnik generation. We're talking about
The hair's
Early
all-
60s,
yeah,
late
we're
50s.
we're entering the 60s. So
Yeah.
imagine 59 and whatever. So he dresses like a fucking idiot.
Right, he's dressing like that
belly
guy
shirts.
he's dressing like that guy in Iron Giant. The guy who drinks
so
coffee all the
Hogarth?
time.
Yeah. No, not Hogarth. The
artist dude.
Yeah, the guy
Artist
who
guy.
makes
Yeah.
statues.
I forgot his name. It was like Jack something. Jack. I don't know.
Jack off. Is that what you're about to say?
Jack off all trades.
Yeah.
A great movie by the Iron Giant. Love that movie.
Rock.
Diesel.
Tree.
Real good movie.
It makes me want to cry thinking about that movie.
This script's going to make you want to cry, so I'm going to go through it.
Come on, Tom. Let's go. Get those
Reed's
tears
first
going.
break
This is, yo,
was
yo,
playing-
Tom, your script is Homeward Bound 3, dog.
It is. It is. Shut up!
Hello!
Hogarth. What a funny name.
It's a great name, right?
Name your first kid Hogarth.
I'm gonna do that. It's such a unique name.
Hogarth. My son
Hogarth.
This is my son Hoagie.
This is my daughter, Anaxim the Moon.
She's named after a VHS. Reed's first break was playing Richard of Gloucester in a BBC TV
Gloucester.
series. Was it?
Gloucester.
Thank you. I'm only a little bit English.
Yeah.
Come on, Tom.
BBC TV series called The Golden Spur. That was 1959. An agent, Pat Larth, saw him on TV and reached out. Slowly but surely, Pat starts getting him roles. Now, Pat's a woman. That's great.
Patty.
Just throwing it out there. Because I want to give credit to women in the script because Oliver Reed seems to never do that.
So I'm picturing.
I love women.
Which is-
They should always do that. Give
And
credit.
I'm a fair and balanced man.
Yeah, no, I'm picturing Matt Barry's agent in Toast of London.
Yeah, that's kind of what's going on
Yeah.
here. Now, meeting Kate Byrne. Okay, so they both auditioned for this thing. Kate Byrne's his first wife. And Kate was leaving an audition. And they had started flirting while hanging out in the waiting area. And when she leaves the audition, Oliver then, he's like, I got to chase this bitch down. I have to make this happen. So what he does is, he hadn't been called yet into the audition, but he bursts into the office and goes, you've got to interview me now. There's a gorgeous redhead out there, and I need to chase her.
Woo!
That'll make you stand up.
That'll only work in the early 60s.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
Now you'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, he'd be
Well,
mean,
that's the
dude.
thing.
In the 60s, they were like, I like this guy's
Yeah.
pizzazz.
Yeah.
That spunk.
Well, also, you've got a man that's constantly drinking. He's throwing up on himself. He's he's unkempt, I think is the best way of saying it. And
Yeah.
one thing I noticed when I lived over there, I was the minority of circumcised men. So
That's something you noticed? You were like, you lined 10 guys
Yeah.
up, and you were like,
Well,
Yeah,
like
so-
Oliver Reed, Travis was inspecting a lot of dicks.
Right.
So.
So Oliver Reed had a Gloucester cheese growing, and he's like, this redhead is definitely going to like one of those sliced cheeses I use the string. There's a soft cheese, and I cut a slice for her. I'm just trying to
terrible,
sell my
Travis.
wares.
I think that's a form of abuse, putting this out and publishing it.
I just had
terrible.
I had the craziest image in my head when you were telling me that.
Yeah, that's because
The
Describe it,
crust of
Mike.
cheese around your foreskin just being removed.
Yeah,
with a
something.
string?
With a string.
the
Yeah,
Gloucester.
like,
That's
you
the
know,
Gloucester.
you have like a sunburn, you get dead skinny, you like pull it off.
stop.
Like
This
that.
is penis
Mike
cheese
is painting
stuff.
a clearer picture.
Yeah, this is
for all
what's
of
going
us.
on.
Well, I know that women of red hair love sharp cheeses, and I have plenty.
Jeez.
I mean, can you
Okay.
blame the guy? I mean,
All right,
shit.
so he's trying to chase after
He's
her.
trying to chase after
Didn't have
Kate
Tinder
Byrne,
back then.
and one of the producers goes, "You're not the type," and he goes, "I'm not her type." And he's just like, "No, the part for the role, go." So he's just like, "Thanks." So Kate was engaged at the time, but her relationship was on the rocks. Much of like Ollie's drinks. Oh,
Wait.
that's not even funny yet because we haven't covered it so much. But
He
either
pulled
way,
the
And he
robbery.
seemed like a neat guy, anyway.
he is a neat guy.
Yeah.
He's a true alcoholic. Kate left her man to be with Oliver, who happened to be busy with another lady at the time named Tina.
Oh.
When he got the measles and was admitted to the hospital, the two women showed up at the same time.
That's
and
awkward.
Kate goes, which one are you gonna choose? In it?
Yeah, and his
That's-
fucking his
Kate's New Yorker?
yeah, and his fucking he's like his throat is like the size of two fucking beach balls. He's like, ah, ha.
Yeah. Pretty much. He did have a thick neck, and it might have been from this.
Well, he's got measles, dude.
He's got measles. You're right.
And you got two bitches showing up to be like, yo, what the fuck? That's
Fighting over
crazy.
measly ass.
Which
man.
one of us are you going to give the measles to?
And they're still just deciding, like, I'm out of here.
Isn't
You
that
got
what
another
they
girl,
do on
what the
college campuses? They're like, who wants fucking what's that college fucking disease?
Mono?
Yeah,
herpes?
degenerates
Mono.
get mono.
Who wants to be a measillionaire?
Who's got mono
So,
here?
Guys, I'm moving along. We have a lot
You're a
to cover here.
degenerate. Mike
fuck?
raised his
Gross.
hand.
I faked
Mike
mono.
has mono.
God damn.
I faked it.
So she basically forces marriage on him, and he claimed that many times later on, he claimed that like they were never really supposed to be married. They were a great couple, but they were too young and all that crap, which we find out is kind of true.
Young love.
He hadn't worked in months and then was picked up by Hammer Films. Now, if you're not familiar with Hammer Films, like Mike,
It sounds on my first impression. It sounds like an adult film.
No, their tagline was "Can't touch this."
it is
anti-adult film.
it's technically an adult film. It's horror films.
Okay.
So it's an English horror film company. Some of the greatest actors of all time have worked with them. Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing,
Adam Sandler.
Adam
Sandler. But it was kind of looked down upon to do horror at this time. But it was a good way to get your foot in the door. You just don't want to hang out.
Well, I think
too long.
if we ever decided to do like an episode that just like my Cary Grant, right? You've done your Cary Grant.
Yeah, well, I've done something better now.
Well, yeah, I'm just
doing it right
saying.
now,
But
actually.
Christopher Lee, dude, that is, he's like one of the coolest actors. And
He's a great guy.
yeah. He did a metal album in his 90s.
Yeah, but he just kind of sang like this the entire time. It wasn't his strongest point in his career.
Yeah, but Tom, come on, no. He's 90
strongest one
and
in
he's
his career
trying,
was
dude.
when
He's not going to do like
Christopher-
guttural pig squeals. He's going to be like,
Strongest part of his
"Aye!"
career was when he told Peter Jackson what it sounds like when you stab a human being.
Yes.
That's the high point of Christopher Lee's career.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he was
really
in the
did
SAS.
excel.
And
He's like, Peter,
yeah.
this is what a guy sounds like when you stab him in the chest.
Yeah, he was in the SAS and like fucking doughboy Peter Jackson, who's like, I make video claymation films, and and he's like, no, dude, I've fucking killed so many krauts this way. You're an idiot.
Anyway, that film, the first film he did was The Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll. That film is terrible, and shortly after Oliver's luck dried up again, he and Kate were evicted and had to live with his brother for a while, and then with Kate's parents. Kate found out she was preggo, and Oliver considered becoming a door-to-door vacuum salesman.
Wow.
But then, just in the nick of time, Hammer calls up again and goes, "We like your eyes."
Oh.
He has really nice eyes.
He does.
This
lost in
is
them
genuine. He has very nice eyes.
Let me look into your soul.
I mean, they kind of look like they're dead a little bit, but like also very like alive.
They're so blue.
So alive.
We could talk a little bit about his eyes later. I have a bit on it.
I'm
eyes
glad we have
really
a
went into the
built-in
soul.
bit.
I'm
for
going to
his eyes.
describe the measurements of his eyes
Oh, okay, cool.
on the show. So don't be driving for that part. That's for sure.
Yeah, pull over,
you might get
ladies,
too wet.
and men.
Yeah, right? So the Curse of the Werewolf. He's kind of a Hammer leading man now, which is better than, it's better than being an extra. It's not as good as support on a regular British film industry, but I like Hammer films.
I mean, we mentioned this. It was a lot easier to be an extra, and we just mentioned the person who ruined extras, Peter Jackson. Once they were able to like duplicate 1 million orcs using computer technology. Back then, if you had a battle, you had to cast everyone for a fucking battle.
Yeah.
That was better.
Wasn't it like Ben-Hur is the largest cast in any Hollywood movie because it's like 25,000 extras or something like
Really?
that?
Yeah, it's fucking
they
crazy.
filled a stadium of extras.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
I mean, we did an
there was some
episode
of
on Fritz Lang, and there was he used fucking tons of extras, and it was all like impoverished kids that he was like, here's a slice of bacon, a day's pay.
It got better. It was like the D.W. Griffiths with the whole Birth of a Nation. They don't even know how many people were there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but this is also like year 5 of making films. They don't know how to do anything. And the only reason Hollywood exists is to escape New York Jew lawyers from prosecuting against copyright law. Truly, that's the only reason that Hollywood exists where it is.
They just had to get out of there.
Yeah, they would make these films, and they would be so far outside of New York where all the licensing agreements would take place, and they'd be able to be like Hop Company, make their money and go away.
Make a
That's
new one.
Hollywood exists because of that. That changed all by like late 1920s.
Yeah. That's how it started.
Yeah.
We're also in England right now, and I know one of the you mentioned Hammer Films, right? Like, people saw Hammer Films. You might watch a Hammer film now and be like, this is kind of corny. But people saw that as like almost smut, like almost fucking like it was like horror films were so looked down upon.
Taboo.
Yeah.
That, like-
well, it was like cutting
Yeah.
edge culture wise. Like
Yeah, like
it
people.
was so much pushing the boundary.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like the American equivalent would be like Trauma in the like 80s, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely. It's a good analogy, I
Yeah.
suppose.
But even
Yeah, I
more,
mean, there
even
was
more
more-
groundbreaking, even more like underground because it was earlier.
It's like watching Adult Swim. You're not supposed to be watching Adult Swim.
I mean, kind of in a way.
Like
It's
Adult Swim in
yeah.
like 2003.
Yeah, when it was good,
Yeah.
and whatever. Now it's garbage.
So the werewolf movie.
Right, the
Big
werewolf.
break.
This is his big break. Thank you, Connor. He basically gets that part because the makeup guy, who had worked with him on the Dr. Jekyll film, was like, this guy's eyes, his presence. He's got this thing about him. So the makeup guy over at Hammer was like, "That's your dude. Like, that's the guy you need to make this werewolf." So the film wasn't well received at first, but the ladies loved it. There was this thing happening with Hammer. They were kind of like getting into some better films. Christopher Lee had done his Draculas at this point, so there was enough of a following, and the ladies were in.
Why do the ladies like werewolves? It sounds very annoying. Like you have a date planned, you go into the opera, and then like fucking the new Batman guy, Twilight Boy's like, "Sorry, I gotta transform into a dog. I can't go to the show."
Sorry,
unique.
can't do sex. Gotta be a dog.
Gotta
That's
be
'cause
a
he's
dog.
really good at basketball. That's why they love werewolves. They're really good at basketball.
Well,
Yeah,
then
they're
they
really-
should watch
apparently.
more Space Jam, and they should watch more Shazam.
All right.
Or no,
Well-
what was the Iron Man? Well, no, what was the Shaq
Iron-
movie?
Iron Giant.
Man 2?
The
Shaq
Shaq
Fu.
movie?
Yeah, there was an Iron
Yeah.
Man. It was called
Shazam?
Man of Steel or
Iron-
Steel Man.
Man of Steel. Man
Man
of
of
Iron
Steel.
Man.
Shaq Fu.
Okay, guys, I have a
Shaq's
lot
in
of
that
I have a
fucking
lot of
movie.
material,
Sorry,
so I gotta
I'm
keep going.
derailing
Guys. I gotta keep going. No, it's all right. You
Oh,
look pretty
It's
cool.
clear that
you
you
look
love
very
him,
cool, right?
and
now.
we're all kind of falling in love with him now.
Are
so
we?
I think it seems like that. Seems that
Good.
way.
I want to share this. So Peter Cushing, he's also a Star Wars guy. Let's not get into it. He gave Oliver the advice that he took to heart more than anything else, which was do less on screen.
Respect.
This is, if you watch Oliver Reed's catalog, he is delivering with such confidence and doing so little at the same time.
Less is more.
You're on the big screen. It's right up there. You don't have to flinch around when you're in pain.
the
You could
subtleties.
the subtlety. Yes, exactly. So in 1961, his son Mark was born. Good timing. He had some money.
Tom,
Oliver's Hammer career continued with The Dam, The Pirates of Blood River, Paranoiac, which is a really good one, and he did a few more.
Tom, do you know, was he a method actor or a, what's the other one?
I forgot what it's called, but I will say that he's not a method actor, but he'll dive in for periods of time like a method actor.
Okay, because I know Peter O'Toole was hated method acting. And he was like a big British, he was Obi-Wan Kenobi. And he was like, "Why would you need to pretend that you are a man? You are an actor."
That wasn't
That was
Peter,
not Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Peter O'Toole. You're
Alec
right.
Guinness.
Alec
was Obi-Wan
Guinness,
Kenobi.
not Peter O'Toole. Sorry, I mixed those boys up.
Peter O'Toole was another Hellraiser.
Yeah. No, Alec Guinness was big on, hated method acting.
Hated method acting.
Yeah,
All right.
method acting's dumb.
So you don't think Alec Guinness was like trying to become a Jedi during?
No, I think he was trying to have a drink.
Adam Driver was trying to be a Jedi
With Oliver Reed?
because he's a Siamese-faced man.
That's right. So, like I said,
That
he's
wasn't a
on this
racist
whole-
thing, by the way. I was talking about Siamese cats, not Taiwan. Not Taiwan. Thailand.
Racism. He began being friendly with Christopher Lee, as we mentioned before, and Dennis Shaw. Christopher Lee witnessed Shaw's party nature rubbing off on Oliver. They started drinking all night and like to start fights in the pub. So he's living in Wimbledon now, and he starts what they call the Wimbledon crew. Now, I don't think this was intended, but Oliver was very much into his everyday pub people. Mm-hmm. Those were his friends. He had a lot of friends. He came from that place. So he drank at a place called the Dog and Fox, and he never fought there because he liked the owners. But if he was doing a bar crawl, he would fight like anyone else. He loved a good fight.
So he's like Billy Joel.
Yeah, he at first he didn't, but I'll explain why he likes fighting later. We're gonna start losing some continuity here, so darting around.
We're getting to the antics period.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So he liked this idea of going to a pub, and he never had to talk about his work because no one else did.
Yeah.
They would just do games. It was all about games, feats of strength, dumb shit like that.
That's what we've really lost in the bar and pub culture. No one's playing games.
Yeah, that's
No
true.
big Jenga anymore.
No, well, they used to do real games. See, the
Good
problem
arm
with the
wrestling.
pubs here, and when I say pubs, I mean fucking bars, is
Jenga?
that they started introducing these game nights and bringing giant Jenga and shit like that. But drinks back then were, games back then used to be drinking things like,
Yeah.
oh, let's play a game. Take a pint glass and take a little bit out of all the liquor bottles here, and then we're gonna drink this.
Yeah.
And we're gonna pass it around.
Yeah, it's the game.
That's the game.
Or instead
Arm wrestling.
instead of like
Jenga.
pub quiz night, what the fuck's that shit? Down.
Hey, shut up about that.
Yeah,
That shit's
no,
fun.
but that's a game, Tom. That's not a bar game. A bar game.
It is a bar
No,
game.
it's a bar game. It's not a pub game.
It's not a pub
We need
game.
Pub
yeah,
games.
a pub game is here's a bottle of orange juice, here's Bailey's, drink both of them and smash the Bailey's bottle on your head.
Yeah.
See how many
Try
you
to
can
stay seated while drinking 25 shots of absinthe.
Yeah.
Like, that's a pub game.
Yeah, Oliver would do all kinds of crazy stuff. There was like one of the bars he stayed at, there was, what'd they call it? Oh, they had some guy who he was friends with. He was part of the Wimbledon crew, and he was always poor. And he would come in, and Oliver would buy all of his drinks, no problem. But he made him do all this crazy shit. Like there was this one time he made him drink, I think it was like half gallon of milk that had expired. Had been expired for quite some time. Just shit like that. Like they would just
That's a
fuck
pub
with each
game.
other.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
No,
There was another-
I don't think Oliver Reed, the Wimbledon gang, would be all about going to quiz night because Reed can't even spell his name. He's like,
No, he can't. They would do-
R-E-A-D.
Here's one they would do. Here's one that they did. It was like an annual one. One of his locals. They would tie a rope. They would anchor a rope on two ends of the bar, and then they would see who can crawl from one end to the other. And the owner of the bar would cover it in like dish detergent, so everyone would slip off of it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, this is what real drinking
That's
is like.
awesome.
So right, this is awesome. So what?
So cool.
So what Oliver Reed, because he was super competitive about these kind of things, always pushing it. One of the things he did with this event was he put two pairs of pants on. So when the other one got
traction.
like, when the outside pair got really slippery, he would have the other one that would kind of like hold his grip a bit. And he made it across, he won the thing, and then he went out drinking all night. And then the next morning he woke up and his balls were, all the skin on his balls was basically removed because the dish detergent was so strong.
Oh.
And he just kept drinking and shit. This is the kind of shit. This is like, that's drinking culture.
I'm wondering if his
Oh.
wife was like watching him get ready and was like, honey, why are you putting on two trousers?
Oh, that's, I don't know if she would ask that.
This man's a hero.
He's like, I gotta go to the pub.
Guys, like I am just giving you a taste of what's happening. Like this book that I read, What Fresh Lunacy This Is This? The best book. One of my favorites.
I want to go to a bar night right now.
Right. So he was perfect with the pub people because the way he looked at acting was point the camera and at me and pay me. That was it. He got his job done. He was extremely professional. Let's see. Now, second. Oh, so I think it was the same guy who was always poor who he made drink the
Milk.
the milk. He had made a lot of money at one point. And he goes, this guy's name was Peter, and he goes, "Hey Peter, we're gonna play a game." He liked to bring some of the act into it, so he was like, "Peter, you're gonna take my jacket, and you're gonna be me, and I'm gonna take your jacket, I'm gonna be you." So he's like, "Now since you're me, you're gonna buy everyone drinks." So here's what he was crazy. He left like hundreds and hundreds of pounds in his jacket. And he was just like, yeah, just use that money. And then he got furious at this guy, Peter, because he would only buy singles for people. And he wasn't buying doubles for them.
What a
And he
dickhead.
was just like, you're supposed to be fucking me, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even your wallet anyway.
I would buy a
That's what
double.
a psychopath. Like, dude.
You'd be like, you didn't buy him
Gave me
tribbles?
You gave me your fucking jacket. You fucker.
Simon, he has a younger brother now.
Simon
I
Cowell.
forgot which side of the family. It might be Peter, I guess. His younger brother becomes his publicist, and his older brother, David, who we've mentioned before, becomes his manager. So now it's a family operation.
So after no nepotism, now it's a family operation.
Yes. Exactly. I think he was fine with dishing it. Oliver Reed is a generous person. There's no way on earth you can convince me otherwise.
Well,
He
like you
gave
said, he's
so
trying to
much.
buy doubles for everybody and not singles.
Exactly. So I think he was giving his brother David. He had an experience already in the field, and he was qualified as a manager. And then Simon was doing some kind of reporting, I think, too. So they both qualified for the jobs they were given. So working at Hammer, it didn't look good to the film community of Britain. He worked with Michael Winner a lot. He was a close pal in film. He made 6 films with him after his Hammer.
Oh yeah,
stuff.
Michael Winterlot and I go way back. We're friends. Winterlock, dude. We used to call him Lockheed. And
His name is just
no,
Winner.
Lockheed and Martin was his friend.
Oliver Reed, with exceptions to some points of craziness on set, he was very professional on his set. He didn't drink
At least he's an alcoholic, Tom.
on set.
I respect it.
Yeah, but if you drink
Man
that
of his
much,
craft.
don't you like need that shit to function?
Yeah,
Nope.
right.
No, you
Really?
don't.
Oh,
Not
he's
this guy.
savage. I
Not
guess.
this guy. Not this guy.
Swag daddy.
His one thing on set that was a little questionable was his physicality. He always took things to the next level. So if he was doing like a fight scene or something, whoever he was fighting did not want to be there with him.
Right. He would
'Cause-
actually fight him. Like,
Yeah, that's when he would go method. He
Like
would
a
go
love-
method when the camera was on.
I mean, it's a good
where he
thing.
wouldn't
It's
stop.
a very good
And
thing
the
that
love scenes,
Jackie
too.
Chan was not an actor back then.
Oh, that's yeah. Well, then we would have seen a very long battle.
Well, we would have seen a death, and it would have been Oliver Reed, short-lived. That would be the end of
I'm
our
just
script.
imagining him and Tom
shut up.
Cruise. Tom Cruise trying to do his own stunts, and this guy just beating the shit out of Tom Cruise.
I forgot what film it was, but I didn't write it down. There was a film that Oliver Reed was doing, and where a stuntman was supposed to do something, and he was kind of contesting it. And Oliver Reed was like, told the director, roll the cameras, and he did the stunt, and the guy was fired.
Oh shit!
It was his stuntman.
Yeah.
And speaking of stuntman, he befriended an extra named Reginald.
Oh, sick
Oh,
man.
Reggie, yoink!
Yes.
By the way.
So Reg acted as his not only body double but a bodyguard. Yeah, he had some ties to the military that he wasn't very clear about, but Reg was the kind of guy who would just take care of any bar fight that Ollie started. He was the knockout guy.
Right.
He was always a little less drunk than Ollie, a little more composed, still partied. Party
Yeah.
boy.
Was Reg? Did he have a bicked head? Because I feel like British people that have bicked heads, just like their toughness goes up like exponentially.
Tenfold? Yeah.
Well, no, he had similar hair to Oliver because he was his body.
Yeah, but he could have been wearing a toupee or something, a little toupee.
I don't know if Reg did not. He wasn't bald at this
Okay,
time.
well, I'm just saying he
the one-
wore a toupee and he was bald because if it's called the Statham theory. So if
Statham
you're
theory,
bald
right.
and you're British, your brawliness goes up tenfold.
And you have to speak really quiet.
I didn't know that information, guys.
Give me another one.
Yeah, like shave your head and talk softly, and you'll be able to kick the shit out of a lot of people.
You guys want to shave my head later?
Yeah, dude. We're going to do it.
Let's do it.
Anyway, there was one night in which Reg should have been around, but he wasn't. It was at the Crazy Elephant nightclub, West End, London. A bunch of young kids started making Dracula jokes at Oliver because he looks scary. And Oliver passed the table and he goes, I'm going to bite their fucking jugulars. The kids were like, all right, well, that's fine. One kid followed Oliver into the bathroom. And Travis, maybe you can explain this. He glassed him.
Oh, give him old glass. He fucking smashed one of them bottles and fucking gave him a little in the gut, in the face.
That's well, he did it on the face. Yeah, so
Ooh.
Oliver Reed, actor.
The literal moneymaker.
Yeah. One kid hit with the glass, and the other kids rush in and start beating the shit out of him.
my
He
God.
manages to escape the kids and runs out to the street, hails a cab. The cab driver goes, what about my fucking cab, man? You're bleeding everywhere. And he goes, what about my fucking face, man?
So is that picture? Because I've seen a picture of him with like his face all fucked, and he's like smiling.
Yeah, that was like a couple days
Oh, okay.
later. He was fucked up. The glass went through his cheek. It even slashed his tongue. Pretty bad. He refused to press charges, though, because he's English and he's not an American.
snitch.
And
That's what we
snitch,
need
yeah.
in this
And
country, dude. You need to fight someone in the street and
I
not worry
just looked
about
at the
lawyers.
picture.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Nasty.
that is gross.
Quite the glassing. Yeah, check that out if you're at home.
That's what you get your foot in, cunt.
So he thought his career was over. And to be honest, like, it was kind of weird to people who knew him because he didn't make a fuss when he was injured. Like, once on a set, he broke his shoulder and didn't tell anyone until someone grabbed him and was like, ow. And he was just like, how long has that been broken? He was like,
It's like when
So he's a what's it called? There's a word for that.
a man.
Fun drunk.
A man. Yeah. Fun drinking. Man.
That and there's a word for you don't like to bother people. I forgot what it's called.
I hate bothering people. Sorry to bother you.
It's sorry about
You know,
my
often I say
broken
that.
shoulder. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to bother you.
like a modern comparison to an actor with Viggo Mortensen in Peter Jackson again. In Lord of the Rings, he fucking kicked that helmet and broke his foot, and they just like kept recording.
Rolling.
Yeah, and then
He turned that anguish onto the screen.
yeah, and he was just like and they were like, "Are you all right?" He's like,
Yeah.
"No, I broke my foot." And then the next day, they had to do one of the 100 scenes of them running through valleys and hills of New Zealand. And he fucking did it, dude. That's fucking
So like,
legit.
Vigo, are you sure you can just run for like 4 miles? Then he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Just bandage it up.
Yeah.
I'll fucking run."
I like
Give me
Viggo.
millions. I'm doing that shit. Hell yeah.
Yeah, who gives about my fucking feet? Give me hooves after
Yeah.
this. I don't give a shit.
I go back to my trailer and do some blow.
Right, so he's hired by Ken Russell. Ken Russell, he ends up working with a bunch of times. He's the guy who directed Tommy, who Tom Oliver Reed is also in. He picks him up for a movie about Claude Debussy, which is a famous. I
don't know.
He's a
Debussy?
French composer. Russell was hell of a drinker too, so they got along quite well. This Debussy film was his first intellectual breakthrough. Now that was a film where he could truly act in a fashion that was more akin to the boards, if you would. The boards is the term they use for theater.
So this is
More
like
theatrical.
breaking out of his horror niche.
Yep.
I'm guessing. All right.
Yeah, so he leaves Hammer at this time, and he's always grateful. He was never the actor to go, "Oh, Hammer, I'm over that." He was really grateful. He learned everything through Hammer. Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, and some of the producers there, they taught him a
Right.
lot.
I mean, he's not going to be
So-
like, all of that horror tentacle porn that I did for Hammer Films. I would never do that again. I'm above that. I would have as many tentacles inserted into me as possible.
That's like how Sylvester Stallone tried to get everyone to forget that he did porno before he
And-
did the Rocky movies.
And we did.
yeah, we
did.
did.
Until just now.
Until now, I'm reminding
Oh,
you.
I'm gonna
Thanks.
watch those
Don't
later
forget,
tonight.
Sly Stallone did a porno.
Could you imagine?
It's so good,
Oh yeah, baby. Oh, yeah.
Philadelphia.
Mickey, come here.
Yeah, I'm going to come.
I'll beat you like a piece of meat.
He's on that Debussy film. It picks up his career again. People start taking him more seriously. He had an affair with the co-star of his next film, The Shuttered Room.
Shutter Island.
Yes, Shutter
Yeah.
Island, sure. He was and then on and off
Oh,
affair
Leonardo
with,
DiCaprio. That's sick.
yeah, it was the same
fucking
one.
him?
Carol Lindley, that was a woman who he basically had an affair with for 7 years on and off. It was cool. He'd fly out to L.A. and just hang out with her.
Is he still married to Kate at this point?
Yes, he is. He's married to Kate. Kate is at home watching Mark. Oliver is out with his friends, bringing them back home every night and making a ruckus. For a while there, Kate was the breadwinner. Mm-hmm. She was a model. She got called out for being preggo. Money fell off. She lost the preggo weight, went back to modeling. Oliver, his career picked up, and then the values took over where he's like, you don't work anymore, I work.
Okay.
Right. So then he does The Jokers, which is his big first USA showing, and it's also his first comedy.
Wait, so that's
was
when he did
known-
a movie about incels, and they were like, you should dance on stairs and smoke a cigarette.
It was actually a prequel to that.
Okay, cool.
It was him and Joker Phoenix.
I thought it was like a Batman movie you guys were talking about for a second. Jokers?
Yeah,
So I told you
the
it was
Joker
him.
Phoenix movie.
They CG made a bunch of Oliver Reeds, and they were all dancing down the stairs smoking a cigarette. And it was like the Jokers.
Oh, those, and
I was like, "Are you a cis white
What, you gonna
male?
say some kind of hateful
Are you a
joke?
cis white male?
Because-
Can you relate to all these men laughing, walking
It's a round
down
of
the
bullshit.
stairs, smoking a cigarette?"
Smoking so many cigarettes. Okay,
Now I want to smoke a cigarette.
I kind of want a cigarette right now.
me too. All right, I gotta keep
We
moving.
got-
along.
we
We
got
got
a
a long.
French-
This is a
Oh,
long
I'm
script,
so
guys.
glad
Yeah.
this
All
is a
right,
long
keep
script.
going, keep going.
Make this fucking
Oh, wait, I
4-hour
forgot to tell you
script.
guys about my week.
Oh, tell me about your week,
us
Mike.
about-
I am actually a member of the Brendan Fraser Association Group.
I saw that. You're a B-fag like me?
Yes, I am a B F Fraser.
You spell it.
It's called
fine.
the B-fag.
Yeah,
BFAG.
Brendan Fraser Association Group. That's
Yeah.
what I'm in.
Yeah, that's
Is it
awesome,
just like a
dude.
support group for Brendan Fraser fans?
Yeah, everyone that loves Brendan Fraser, you're
Shouldn't
a
everyone
B-fag.
in the world be in this group?
You can join it.
Don't
Yeah,
we
so-
all love Brendan Fraser?
Yeah, you gotta join
Yeah.
it though.
Yeah,
You're
aren't
a
you just a
B-fag.
person? Okay, let me get back into Oliver Reed here before we get
I
into that great
I
actor.
that was the big story about my
One
week.
great actor at a time, Mike.
Sorry,
That would have been a better story.
I know
than
I
this.
fucked up.
Yeah,
I
your
don't know
story.
why it didn't come to
Your
me.
story was kind of silly earlier. I'll be honest.
It was.
But
I was trying to hit the people in the hearts,
Yeah.
about anger management.
I think you hit them in the bumpers.
I hit them with the exit.
Instead, you hit us right in the
exit button
hearts
there.
right now,
This is-
Brendan
Yeah,
Fraser.
they're like,
Show off.
done with this stupid show.
Mike,
They'll never learn about this sweet
Mike,
Reed.
I'm really,
Sorry.
I'm really sad that the highlight of your week wasn't being initiated as a B-fag.
It is. I totally forgot about it.
All right,
I don't know. Why I got
this is a
distracted.
midway. How was your week? We're gonna start doing these with Mike.
I don't know why that just came to me randomly.
Midway through the episode, how was your week? Love it.
It's not like you have all week to think about it, Mike.
Hour and 30 minutes in. Mike, how
It
was
just
your week?
came to me randomly. Look, what triggered that? What we were talking about the Joker.
It's called
so
brains.
Yes, these are good.
We should
blue
let Mike
point.
not answer how his week was until
Yeah,
it comes
let
to
me
him
get- yeah,
in
let
the
me-
episode
yeah.
where he's like, "This is how my week
Yeah.
was."
The intermission.
That's why we got Connor on the show now. He's a good thinker.
He is. I'm lucky
I
he's here
can't think
too.
for my.
We're all lucky.
I'm
Tom,
thinking
continue
about
the
your
show.
week.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mike. I'm glad you're letting me do this.
Keep deterring us.
So this is Oliver Reed is now known as the Whispering Giant. You see, he had this presence. He was a big boy. He had this look. He was lurking. He didn't blink that much. It was awesome. Sound guys hated him
Oh, yeah.
because everything was like this. He would say lines. Like,
He's very stylish.
It's quiet.
yeah,
stylish
he's styling. Very styling. So while filming his part of Bill Sikes in Oliver, the 1968 musical that his uncle directed, believe it or not, he was cast as the role not because of nepotism,
Okay.
but because the producers of the show go, that's your Bill Sikes there.
Mike,
he
I
met-
have an uncle named Harvey Weinstein. You want to be in a movie?
Yeah, sure. I don't mind doing that stuff.
Good.
You make a lot of money. Forget about it.
Yeah, forget about it indeed. So he met Jackie Darrell. They had an affair for a very long time. It lasted past his divorce with Kate, even. Kate knew it was happening, but it's like British Hollywood, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They ended up having a daughter later together named Sarah. Jackie did turn on... Okay, hold on. We're getting this out of the way. Jackie, every now and then, in public, would show up with a little bit of a shiner. Now, to be clear,
I ran into a doorknob.
her own daughter recalls that Jackie was somewhat of the aggressor. There was multiple stabbing attempts from Jackie's end towards Oliver. So not that Oliver was above violence, but it seems that whatever Jackie got, she kind of had coming.
It's a tip.
Do we know if Kate ever had shiners?
No shiners from Kate.
It's
right.
a typical,
So that,
typical British woman.
Why was she coming at him with a knife, though? I want to know why she's coming at him with a knife.
I don't know, maybe because
He's a
he
big
was-
dude. It's probably making it even.
Yeah.
Is he like fucking another chick? Oh, he is fucking other chicks, right? What's he doing?
Of course
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah.
She was the other chick once.
He's also
pissed.
getting lathered down in pubs and riding ropes.
Yeah, that's what he's
and that's
into.
and that's with the boys.
That's with the boys. Imagine what he's doing with the
Yeah.
women.
Definitely ropes.
The same, but naked.
Definitely lovely gravy.
Yeah, lovely
Yeah,
gravy.
So,
Lovely gravy is back from the dead. And Oliver is.
You saved me from drowning, lovely gravy, and now I'm paying you back.
He's a mentor.
Can you guys start calling me Charles Lovely Gravy Lemons?
Lovely. I
Ollie-
wish I had a British accent.
He did get quite violent in general, but when it came to hitting women, it was most likely just Jackie, who did try stabbing him.
Reasonable self-defense.
We'll put that on your own drawing
Yeah, we
board.
can discuss this on the.
Up in the
Yeah,
air.
we can discuss it on the Joe Rogan podcast. MMA self-defense.
Facts. Let's get it.
Yeah, have Joe Rogan and Joey Diaz break this down.
This is in our
Alex
territory.
Jones featured on the track.
That's right. So in the late 60s, he was up for the role of James Bond, as Sean Connery was putting his old stupid hat up. He was passed, though, by the production company because of his real-life antics.
So you had told me to look into Oliver Reed a little bit before this.
Right.
And when I read this part about him being offered Bond, I just can't help but think what a missed opportunity.
Yes.
Because this guy sounds like the perfect James Bond.
He is James
He's
Bond. Yeah.
pretty much a prick. He's an alcoholic, but he gets the job done.
Right.
Like, you nail all three aspects right there. And he's super patriotic.
He loves the Queen more than anything. You can't talk shit about the Queen. You can't even think shit about
Yeah.
the Queen without him punching you in the face.
Like, if at least Roger Moore was okay as Bond,
yeah.
if he wasn't, I would say this is like the biggest like missed casting ever.
Well, the
'Cause
problem is that this is before
Yeah, it's
Roger Moore. It was
Lazenby.
George Lazenby.
Fuck Lazenby,
Lazenby.
dude.
they what?
Yeah,
I
so-
thought it was Roger Moore that they picked
So
over him.
apparently the thought process behind was Lazenby was a nobody, and they could sculpt his image as opposed to a guy like Oliver Reed who was in the papers already for punching people in the face. and
Terrible
drinking.
call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, Lazenby did 2 Bond movies, I think, or 1.
I think so.
I think it was
One.
one. I think it was
There's
one.
that
one or two.
scene-
And then
scene-
Moore
He's
did
probably
too,
been like,
right?
and then Moore took over until.
Yeah, no, this is.
Did he take over until Brosnan, or
I think there was one more before. I actually don't know.
There might have
I'm
been
not
No,
a
there
huge
was
Bond
in the
fan,
80s.
but-
They had who was the guy? He did 2.
it was another one like Lazenby, who was only in like a couple.
Yeah,
of
no,
movies.
Randy
he did
Quaid.
2 of them, and that was Golden Gun. No, fuck, I can't remember his name.
I just still can't believe they passed on him.
This is the biggest travesty of your script right now.
The franchise behind Bond is very much they're worried about how the person's portrayed in their private life and all this stuff. They need them to be a certain type. I mean, with Oliver Reed, he drank and he got shitty all over the place.
in the
He
tabloids.
broke shit. He just made a mess. Like with Idris Elba, he was too black, so they were like, no thanks.
I think
it's-
I think Idris Elba would make a great Bond, but yeah.
I think so too. I'm using examples of good
So,
Bond
Fortunately,
contenders.
what Farage stepped in was like, we can't have Idris Elba in now. In it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nigel Farage was like, no.
Yeah, he would have been a great Bond.
Lazenby only did one Bond film, and he did On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and then Connery came back for one more.
Oh, where he
movie.
turned Japanese. Yeah, that one.
And then Roger Moore. It was Roger Moore until Timothy Dalton did 2, and then it was Brosnan and then Craig.
Gotcha. Okay.
Still,
Thank you for
Should've-
putting us in
should've
Should have
line.
been
Oliver
Connery, Oliver
Right.
Reed.
yeah, and then more.
No,
Like,
fuck
that's the
more.
path.
So apparently he was at after getting passed up as Bond. I don't think he was really trying. Reed wasn't trying that hard to get
It
Bond.
didn't seem like that.
He didn't really care that much.
Yeah.
But when he heard that Lazenby had gotten the job, he was actually in a restaurant with Lazenby, and they were like within earshot of each other. And this is when he heard it, and someone tells him just like, "Oh yeah, George Lazenby is going to be the new Bond," and Reed goes, "It's something English, like what fucking poofed out." And Lazenby fucking KOs him from behind.
Oh, shit.
Just gives him a fucking sucker punch, like
Cheap
Yeah,
shot.
yeah,
That's
like
not cool.
fucking Oliver's like, he is the king's ferret. And Lazenby's like, bam, bitch.
so shitty,
From behind, that's coward.
very coward.
Un-Bond like.
Yeah, very on.
That's why you only made one film.
Should have lost the role for
He
that.
did.
Should have.
he did. That's
So-
why Connery came
Yeah.
back, because Connery would punch you in
Connery
the face.
will hit your wife and then shit in your mouth. And yeah. That man's a legend.
And why
I'm
not?
sorry that he's dead. That was a big fucking shock. I mean, not a shock because he's like 80 fucking million years old, but
I hope you're enjoying our coverage of Oliver Reed so far. I know I am. After recording this episode, we realized our runtime was about 4.5 hours. So to be respectful of your time and the insane legacy of Oliver Reed, we're going to make this into a two-parter. Join us next week for some more debauchery, some more donkey behavior. And if you want to keep the momentum up, go watch some Ollie Reed movies. Look at how handsome he is. Really take it in. Watch him move the air with his unblinking eyes. And thank you, Shane, for listening.
What do you want?
Spaghetti. Oh, wait, no, shrimp.
You're good, Spaniard, but you're not that good.
I'm not good enough for Spanish spaghetti? Like the kind they sell at Taco Bell? I'm offended.
The young emperor has arranged a series of spectacles to commemorate his father, Marcus Aurelius.
Wait a minute. Weren't we in the middle of roasting you, Oliver Reed? We weren't talking about some Italian man from Olive Garden wearing those leaves on his head. We were talking about you.
I find that amusing.
No, but we really were.
So finally, after 5 years of scratching a living in flea-infested villages, we're finally going back to where we belong.
Sabaros.
The Colosseum.
Oh.
Listen to me. Learn from me. I wasn't the best because I killed quickly. I was the best because the crowd loved me.
You're right, Oliver Reed, but I don't think you killed anyone. I mean, unless if you count encouraging alcoholism to the point where your liver just dies like an idiot head. Tom, roll that clip.
I was told, I can't believe you have a tattoo in a very unusual place.
Yes, on my cock.
Any other words of wisdom, Mr. Reed?
Win the crowd, and you'll win your freedom.
You really think so, Oliver? Well, I've been practicing with this electronic woodwind skin spear. You want to hear what I got?
I salute you. Ultimately, we're all dead men. Sadly, we cannot choose how, but we can decide how we meet that end in order that we are remembered as men.
Thank you, Shane, everyone, for tuning in to the second part of Oliver Reed. If you haven't listened to the first one, there's a lot of drunken stuff. There's a guy, he's on a rope in a bar, all oiled up. Dude, you're going to want to go back and listen to that first one, because, whew, we got a lot more coming, including some appearances from a previous roast, Keith Moon. So you're going to want to stick around, because there's a lot more drunken antics to be had from Oliver Reed, legend in it, legend. Roll the theme.
Wrapped in plastic.
After filming Women in Love, a film where he's the first man to hang dong in any publicly distributed non-pornographic
Oh, so
film.
he's showing
Holy
his
shit.
cock.
Why is there not a statue of this guy somewhere? That's amazing.
He was the first man to say fuck.
Really?
Fire.
International.
He's the coolest guy in the world.
Yeah.
He is pretty. Why would
Yeah,
we
that
roast
wasn't
him?
like a
Huh?
B
This
film?
is
This is a toast. This is a toast mortem.
Toast mortem.
Guys, and he also did this film called The Devils,
Cock.
and it was highly controversial.
That's the one I read about.
Yeah.
when doing the
Devil's
dive on
cock.
him. Holy shit!
A lot of sex and violence and shit happening on stage, on the sound stage. A lot of
He was a method actor for the sex, right? He was all about.
Did he put his
The
penis in
craziest
it?
part about that movie, the craziest part about that movie that I read, and this is just from the Wikipedia description, is at one point they talk about how a nun grabs someone's femur off of a funeral pyre and starts masturbating with it.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna
So
watch
that's
this.
just
This is
a
cool.
little grabs the femur bone to masturbate with.
There was a scene that was cut from the movie where they have these group of whore nuns who
this.
go after a Jesus on the cross. It was plaster, and they made the Jesus hang dong, and they're fucking this thing.
Yeah.
And,
the 70s?
Yeah.
The 60s, late
So,
60s.
so we're all gonna watch The Devils alone, and then we're gonna reconvene.
yeah,
Put this down my notes. Devil's late 60 porno.
the Devils.
The Devils.
Don't write porno.
Just look up The Devils, Oliver Reed.
Yeah,
Those late $60
this is why Disney can't buy all the franchises because look, they took away Song of the South. They're going to take away Devils. I mean, one of the best franchises I've ever seen.
Well,
New
look,
Jersey, baby. Fucking
Loosely
great.
based on a true story.
it's
Really?
Was it Marquis de Sade?
No, some like French abbot in the like 1100s.
They were doing that?
But they were like,
shit.
this guy's possessed by the devil. He's got all these nuns fucking him.
yeah, he was like kind of I forget the character's name, but
Because Gigolo.
Guy Richard or
Oliver
something
Reed,
like
yeah,
that.
Oliver Reed got really into researching the character, and he plays the main guy, and he gets killed. And it's just fucking nuts. Anyway, he does all these violent films and all this cool shit, and he makes enough money where he buys a place called Broom Hall. It's a historic landmark. He spends loads of money on restoring it in his 8-year residency there, and the only reason he bought it to begin with is because he started riding horses, and he wanted a place to put them.
Oh,
And he was like, all right, I need
that's
a field.
sweet.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, legend
Let me
has
get on that long dog.
He was working on this film called The Hunting Party, which is pretty cool. It's like Gene Hackman being an ultra violent entrepreneur type whose wife is stolen by Oliver Reed and his roughneck group of friends. And Gene Hackman, instead of calling the law, he just hunts these people down on their own. It's like super violent. Gene Hackman rapes all kinds of women for fun. It's really
Kind of like
fucking
Straw
weird.
Dogs, except
Gene
he
Hackman.
does something about it.
Yeah, so he's learning how to ride a horse for his only Western that he did. And he was like, I really like this horse thing, so I need a field. And he's drinking at the pub one day and runs across to a real estate agency and goes, do you guys have any fields? And they're like, no. So he goes back over to the pub and he drinks a beer and he goes back. He's just like, do you guys have a field with like a house on it? And they're like, no. He goes back. And then when he comes back, they got smarter and they were like, how about this fucking historic piece
How
of
about this
land?
gigantic country estate that costs like an absurd amount of money?
Unbelievable amounts of money. It really kind of did not help him at all with his finances. 60 bedrooms on 65 acres.
60 bedrooms.
Wow.
For who?
Well,
The Help.
it was some big old manor. And then I think
fuck's go-
a bunch of monks took it over at one point.
The fuck?
The more
Dude,
you-
imagine if it had 60 bedrooms, you could just be like every 2 months, like I'm gonna sleep in a different room every
You
day.
rent that
and
shit
without
out.
a repeat.
Yeah, without a repeat. And then like, oh, looks like January and February is over. Guess it's gonna start over, buy a new house.
The more you talk to us about this guy, the more I think he's like the last British imperial gentleman.
He certainly
Like
is.
he really is like the last of this breed of British imperialism.
He absolutely is. That's a really good. I didn't think of it like that, but he totally is. He really just wants things to be a certain way. He's a traditionalist. He had 20 to 30 workers there restoring the place. Like
How many bathrooms?
Assume
For
over 20.
Over 20.
Nah,
That's so
I'm gonna guess
Tom.
like six.
6.
if it was built when it was built.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To hit touch back on our vocabulary that we learned. Do you think he would glass Gandhi?
Probably. Why the hell
Yeah.
wouldn't he?
Upstart.
You think he had a lot of banisters in the house for tossing dogs?
Probably.
Yeah, that's
There's
a
a special
throwback.
room for that.
He actually-
Room 59.
So later on in life, he actually had a soft spot for animals.
Oh,
so
he
like
changed his
dogs.
ways.
Yeah, he took in a,
Oh, he's
a
learning
few
to ride
strays and he had
horses.
them in the barns and stuff. He went to a bullfight once and was disgusted. So he wasn't like your man's man, like, oh, let's go hunting. He did go hunting a few times and intentionally would miss the targets because he was just
He's vegan.
he wasn't vegan. He liked a good steak.
Oh.
Either way, at Broom Hall, he would have 20 to 30 workers there for like months at a time, 6 days a week. And the reason it took so long for shit to get done was because usually about 10:30 in the morning, after the guys had been there for an hour or so, he'd be like, let's all go to the pub. Come on, let's go. No joke. He'd pack up every single worker who was in the house, and they would go down to the pub.
I just get more admiration for this guy.
Yeah, I don't
the
work
more
for this
think
guy.
about
What the
it.
fuck
Like,
am I
yeah.
doing?
Oh, me too. He needed everything to be of quality. Like he hated plastics. So if they were working on the garden and they were bringing in like those plastic potters and they were going to transplant
Can't have
them,
it.
and they didn't transplant them first, he would just break the pot and be like, "Get it out of here!"
Really? Because I feel like, I don't know, in the 60s and 70s, plastics was like space age.
Yeah, but he's old school. Like
Okay.
he's a gentleman. He
He wanted ceramics.
remember,
Yeah.
like we're doing all these shitty accents, but for the most part, everything was rather like this. He talked.
Yes, he talked.
Sort of very.
He didn't have like the
specifically
Cockney like Manchester that we're doing.
Yeah,
Did he tip his fedora?
he didn't wear
he probably didn't
fedoras.
wear
He
a
didn't wear
fedora.
hats.
Oh.
He,
No, he had a
if he
nice,
would, he would,
thick head of hair.
if he would wear a hat, he'd wear a bowler hat, and he would take it off as soon as he got inside. You understand?
not-
What a
He's a
fucking-
gentleman. He's a true
what a
gentleman.
gentleman.
And it
Gentlemen,
only wear it
sometimes-
when it was raining.
Sometimes wear striped pants.
I will not
You
be
know what? I can't
sounded
stand
with
for that
any.
shit.
I will not be sounded with any plastic dowels. I must be sounded with ivory.
You gotta
dowels.
fucking like
Straight
what
from-
you fucking get.
Straight from South Africa.
Yeah, no. So that's
Yeah.
like
That's
like a South
Manchester.
London. He's not doing that.
But you
like
can keep
what
doing that.
fucking
You can
get.
keep doing that because those are the workers that he's bringing out to the pub.
Bring me to the fucking
Yeah.
pub, you fucking cunt.
Yeah,
I
there you
must
go.
arrange we just gotta put on your new guys, and it's just like, well, everyone get into my car.
That's fine. You can do all that you need.
I've never
but
been
as
sort of
long as we're
caught.
going to the pub after,
going to the pub, right? We're
we're
going
gonna
to
have a pinter.
We're going to the Fox and Hound.
Are you going to spot me? I don't have any quid.
Oh, he'd pay for everything. In fact, like, he actually called out a bunch of people that would orbit him. What he did was he would make himself a regular at the pub, and people would go, "Oh yeah, he buys all the drinks. You know, you just go and put your shit on his tab." And he would have people. He saw this happening, and he liked it because he thought it was kind of funny. And then eventually, when he got sick of it, he brought people out, and unexpectedly would tell the bartender, just be like, "Keep track of what everyone knows, and then when you come deliver the bill, show it to everyone, showing that it's just my stuff." And then he'd be like, "I love watching the people fight," because he wouldn't break up the rate. He's just like, he would just tell the guy to keep track of his bill.
Right.
So
Everyone
like,
else
he'd point at
thought-
the bartender and be like, "That guy there,
Yeah,
track his bill."
yeah,
Like,
exactly. So that he would take care of sometimes just himself, sometimes he'd take care of the whole bar. But he put people on edge like that after a while. Because I mean, this is in his 40s when he started doing that. Because he used to just throw money around.
If
like
I was
crazy.
rich, I think that's the right way to go. Where it's like, I'm gonna prove who actually is like a good person and like wants to hang out, and then who's just like leeching off of me.
There was a lot of leeches.
Oh, of course, but like it's you don't hear about that.
You
They're
offer to
tracking
pay
it.
most of the time, and
Yeah.
then every now and then it's like, don't fuck with me because
Yeah.
you're gonna have to pay for your shit. But he was so bad with money. David, his brother, had to step in and took away Ollie's credit cards after this. So bad with money. Shortly after, England makes a hefty increase on taxing the wealthy, and this sparked a great migration from many film stars and musicians and whatnot. But Ollie was so English that he was like, I'm going to give my government, even though I hate them, 90% of my income, which is pretty much what he was doing.
What?
Yeah.
That's how
Good
fucking
boy.
intense it was. Yeah, you with your socialist bullshit over
Yeah,
there.
good boy.
No, not good boy. You're just giving it to a fucking...
He was like, "I like Texas."
This is gonna fix
Yeah,
a
and then
pothole.
fucking
Oh, he
Maggie
hated
Thatcher
it. He
shows
loved
up
his
and
land.
fucking the country goes downhill.
She lowered it. She lowered the
No.
tax rates a lot.
Travis, he loved Thatcher.
Yeah, huge fan of
Did
Thatcher.
he?
Oh,
Yeah, big fan.
So I don't
Really?
know if you were gonna hit this, Tom, about the Falklands War.
You can tell it. You know.
So, Travis, when the Falklands War broke out in the early 80s, I think, late 70s, early 80s, I don't remember the dates exactly.
Yeah.
This is when Argentina invaded the group of islands off the coast of in the Atlantic, where there's 400 people and 10,000 sheep.
Yeah,
Argentina
it's a
invades,
shitty,
and then
it's a shitty little island
a
that
shitty
two major
little group of
countries
islands that
fought
no one
over.
really cares about, but like the British are like, we're gonna, stiff up our lip and take back the islands. And Oliver Reed tried to re-enlist in the army. He's like, please
44.
let me back in the army so I can go kill some Argentinians and
Damn.
keep the land for the British and the Queen.
yeah.
Yeah, he loved Thatcher. Big Thatcher
Wow.
guy.
Well,
Wow.
also, Oliver Reed was not a Wall Street criminal type. He was an actor. He wasn't good with his money, and he was really sick of the guy before taxing him 90% of what he was making, to be an Englishman. And he was upset that all of his friends left, because they were just paying crazy amounts of money. No one should have to pay 90% of their income. You could tax the wealthy, but fuck that. That's insane. I don't care if someone makes $1 billion. He can't take more than half of it.
I just
don't-
want to get sounded by Joe Biden every other Saturday and then call it even. I don't need to pay tax.
You call it even.
Man, the leg hairs are going straight up. on
Right,
my
so
legs.
let's get back to this stuff. So anyway, he had to take a lot more parts in film to pay for the upkeep of Broom Hall. It's a big estate. He had a lot of fun there, though. He loved gardening himself. He hired a friend to be a groundskeeper. They had a great time. Took anyone working there to the pub, like I mentioned. And after a while, he would bring friends. No, he'd bring friends to at the pubs. He started bringing them back to Broom Hall. And one game that he loved playing was smashing wine bottles over each other's heads while wearing military helmets, which I just think is a great time. I would love to party with Oliver Reed.
You want to do that?
Right here, right now.
Do it right now.
I want to do that.
Without helmets, you'd be more savage than Oliver Reed.
Yeah, what would you?
No,
would you just be like, oh,
You go
me.
first, Tom. We'll hit you first, and then we'll
Thanks.
see you with the.
I know how highly you think of me now.
Well, we're gonna do the Oliver Reed. Day in the life.
Yeah. He had a thing at Broom Hall in his little bar area that he set up called the penicillin glass, which was a glass that was not allowed to be washed. And anyone who came over to his house for the first time, they would have to drink out of it for most of the night.
Oh,
it was about halfway filled with bacteria that had just dried up.
Fuck you, Ollie. Ain't going over here.
well, that's a great British tradition because that's what kings used to do. They were just like, we have our one woodware, mugs, and you just drink out of this until the scum. When they used to wash their glasses like once a year. They were drinking out of slimy scum.
It's like those restaurants that have like the soup that's been on the burner for like 45 years.
Perpetual
And so
soup,
like the
yeah.
bottom is just like the crusts of that 45 years worth of soup.
That's the flavor.
A diner.
Yeah.
And speaking of
diner.
and speaking of 45-year-old liquid,
I'm hungry.
he used to do this thing. It was called his Port Spear Challenge, where anyone else he loved challenging people to things like with the games we mentioned before. He always wanted to challenge people. So he had this little club that he started. I forget I wrote it down somewhere. I'll get to it. It was called the Port Spear Challenge, and what he had was in his dining room, which I guess was about 11-foot ceilings, he had a spear that was about 10'6", right? So it was a couple inches off the top and bottom of the floor. So what you'd have to do is drink a bottle of port, and it was a vintage port, so it had all thick shit on the bottom. Ugh. You have to drink a whole one of those, and then you have to walk around the big 30-person oak table with the spear. And if you hit the bottom or top of it, you'd have to start over again.
Oh shit! So I may have told this on Roast Mortem before, but I have a port story. I will not drink port anymore. And
We did port for John Mighton. Shout out to Big Will.
We did.
Did it involve carrying a spear around a table?
No, it was on Halloween when I was in Wales, and there was this chick, and she was like, "I just got 2 bottles of port. I don't want to drink it because it's disgusting." And so I drank both of them.
Awesome. So
we were waiting online. We were waiting online for a club, and it probably took about like 45 minutes, and I could feel the port just like brewing in there. It was like pickling my stomach.
Yeah.
And I got up to the door, and I had seen this bouncer for a while now, and I just fucking puked straight port all over his shoes.
Oh.
Oh my God.
And he was like,
say?
"Yeah, you're not coming in, man. Sorry, bruh."
He wasn't pissed that you puked on his shoes and like.
No, he was
cool.
he was a pro. He was a pro.
He's used to it by then. He's
Real
like,
professional.
Regular Steve McQueen. Okay, Ollie. The local pub around Broom Hall was called the Cricketer's Arms. What a fucking name.
Pub names in England, so good.
Yeah, dude, Ollie befriends the landlord, and the landlord just started giving him the key in the morning because he would make the landlord drink with him, and then the next day, Ollie wanted to be up at like 8:30 in the morning drinking, and he was like, "I can't, just let yourself in."
my God.
Just come in yourself.
This guy would drink all night and then drink all day. He was,
But not when he was on set, though.
That sounds so disgusting.
Not
on set. So on set, he would drink all fucking night. He'd go to bed at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And then when it was time to be on set at like 7 or 8,
No
he was
hair of
fine.
the dog?
None of it. He was truly an anomaly because I haven't really heard of anyone who was able to do this so long. He was never late to a set. He was never hungover, except for, there were a couple instances where he did. And when he started doing foreign films sometimes, like when he started doing something on the continent, he would start drinking during the day. But when he was doing an English thing I really cared about, he was like 100% sober during the shoots.
He did a lot of Italian films, right? That was like his big thing.
Yeah. He did a few, and like there, he hated Italians, but he did a bunch of films with them, and
He's living up to Lancelot's legacy.
Exactly. So he would throw extravagant dinner parties at Broom Hall. He'd wait till everyone was seated before he made an appearance. He wanted it to be fun. He liked fun. He loved pranks. He was all about his pranks. He made sure that the dinner was on the table. And the gravy. There had to be lots of gravy. Pictures of it. Not gravy boats.
Not Italian
Pictures.
gravy either.
Gravy
The
time.
lovely gravy.
That's
Lovely
right.
Gravy.
So anyway, he's got all this gravy. He's big on the gravy. He'd make a dramatic entrance. He would hack at the meat with his hands,
Oh, like a savage.
cover his plate in gravy, and take like a bite of it, and say, "I can't eat this shit," and then throw it against the fireplace, and then disappear.
Fuck yeah.
He used to do all this weird shit at his house, like Bruno.
I want to go to this dinner party.
Yeah.
right.
So bad.
There was some weird like water ordinance in the area, and he tried to fill up the pool, and the town was like, "I can't fill up your pool right now." It's like, whatever. So he decided to throw a party in the pool, at which he dressed in like a knight's outfit, like one of those all the armor, and just stood still for like a half hour at a time. And then like after a few hours of doing that and hammering gin and tonics when people weren't looking, even though people were looking,
Yeah.
he thought people weren't looking, and he slogged down a gin and tonic. They set up all these tables, catering tables in the pool. And he just like goes straight WWE through one of the tables, just like out of nowhere. That's
I saw a
picture.
picture of him with another person that you roasted, Keith Moon.
Yeah, I'm about to get to him. Another party,
Shit.
he blew a hole in that grand oak table with a shotgun. He used to do shit like that. Like if he was waiting for 8 o'clock and the clock wasn't moving fast enough, he would just whip out a gun and shoot the clock. He was into dumb Hunter
He
S.
could
Thompson.
shoot time.
Yeah.
Exactly. He was kind of like a rare breed between the Hellraiser generation of like Peter O'Toole and like the Beat generation. He was really on his own there.
He's an artist.
He was such an artist, but he also didn't care because he didn't like art that much.
That's so art of him to not care about art.
He just
I
liked to.
fucking hate art. That guy's a real artist.
He got banned from a club over there. Not a club, a pub that he used to hang out at all the time. He used to just like climb up the chimney while the fire was still on
What a
because it was like one of these
savage.
big old
Dude, was he?
and wait.
What do you think is Margaret
He'd
Poppers?
wait. I don't know.
I feel like shit was a lot cooler back in the day. Like, you don't see celebrities doing that.
You
anymore.
can't. No,
I don't see
celebrities
Tom
now.
Cruise
No way.
climbing chimneys.
Or they're doing this behind like closed doors where there's no story possible of getting it out.
Well,
but like
true, yeah.
they don't realize that
Yeah,
we would
I mean,
love
the
this
best-
shit. Like,
Yeah, all I hear is
Well,
about
the
them banging kids.
the best
That's
we
all I
see
hear
is
about
like
nowadays.
Jean Depp's wife being like, "This is his cocaine," and he lie on ground. I want to see Jean
Depp's wife
fucking
yelling at him.
climbing
That's all
up
I hear about.
8 stories and fucking pissing and coming on someone.
The
I want to say
here's
justice for Johnny. That's all I'm going to say.
justice for Johnny, but also like the internet ruined our perception of these
true.
people. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't even into this stuff. He was just wild. Like it was just him and his
he was
friends.
just living life.
Just hanging out.
100%. Like he would just go like there was one time where he was drinking with his friends up at the hall, and he goes, I would really like to see a chandelier up in that tree, which was in the middle of a little island on the lake, and it's December out. So him and like 8 dudes strip down naked and swim across a lake with a chandelier just to hang it on a tree, swim back, and just look at it.
Well,
I'm
thinking
just
about the
imagining
memories.
if the four of us ever, like one of the four of us became rich enough to buy Ohika Castle and then just do dumb shit in Ohika Castle.
One day, guys, don't worry about it. I got you, guys.
Well, I'm just saying, if we
Well,
I
want,
would like
Yeah.
to do some
yeah,
crazy
like
shit.
grind down the fucking 45.
If we want to buy,
staircase. Do ollie off that shit.
I'm going to be drunk all day. I'd be like,
if we
fuck
wanted
yeah, I
to
got
buy
that shit.
Roast Mortem
Not do it.
Mansion up in like Erie, Pennsylvania,
Wine dance.
I'm just saying,
Monticello, New York. We could definitely buy a big property up there.
Mastic Beach. We can get a nice house.
Massive.
Yeah, let's get
Okay.
let's get a master beach. Great, we can get all the meth we want.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, he was one of the last of the Hellraisers, like I mentioned. Like, he was fucking shit up. We talked about Keith Moon before, but this is before I got good at research. Keith Moon and his relationship go quite far. I'm going to get into them, but he gets super into... Oh, what was I saying? He climbs up into a chimney, and he waits until... Like, he'll wait like 30 minutes up in this chimney. The fire's on and everything. He's sweating just to pop out and scare people. That's what he
Hell
would do.
yeah, I'm hot, Santa.
He gets into all this fancy shit. He starts breeding horses. He starts actually winning some ribbons for showings too. He loved to buy expensive cars, Jags, Rolls Royces, and what was even better is that he liked taking them off-roading. So he had this giant property, 60 acres. He's just like, I'm going to fucking take my banana Jag. He had this one Jag that was just bright yellow, and he used to just take it
Tom,
out.
say it like a Brit. A Jag.
Jaguar.
A Jag.
You got a Jag.
He's
got a Jaguar.
He's got a Jag. Yeah, but he would just take that banana Jag and start going. So one of his more famous roles, he started in the Three Musketeers comedy as Athos, leader of the Three Musketeers. The stuntmen would draw straws over who was working with him that day because he would just fuck shit up. Like watch that movie. He never holds the sword like a sword. He takes it like he takes a rapier with two hands and starts batting people, actual stuntmen, and just beating the fucking shit out of them. He would grab it by the other side and hit him with the handle.
Well, that Tom, that's called a murder
movie?
stroke.
It's in the movie.
No, Tom, that's
Yeah, dude, they kept all it takes. Mike, we're gonna watch this movie together. You're
Tom,
gonna love this shit.
We're staying up late tonight to watch this.
We're going to Little Vincent's. We're getting some diarrhea. I guess
So not really so much with the rapier, but with a broadsword. That is an actual technique called the murder stroke, where you grab the blade of the weapon and hit someone with the fucking handle and pommel.
With the hilt. Well, yeah, because when you use the pommel, that's where all the weight is. So it's basically using a fucking club, and you got an armored gauntlet on your hand.
Yeah, that's true.
Not with a rapier.
Not with a rapier.
Yeah,
a rapier is like way too light.
Yeah, they shake around. It's kind of weird. It's like slingshots.
It's like hitting someone with like a limp rope.
Yeah, no, he's like, I will brain you.
He's like, oh, anime, hit him with Rugi style.
So a bunch of shit happened on this because he was so physical and over the top. Like Christopher Lee, who was working on the film, had to stop him a few times and go like, "Hey, man, like I taught you to do sword fighting when we did this pirate film for Hammer. What the fuck are you doing? You're like beating the shit out of all these stuntmen." But it didn't matter. Like he went hard. There was one stunt in which a sword actually went through his arm. It didn't pierce the other side, but it went through the muscle enough where it was like, all right, he needs a break. And then another part where he almost died. It's a windmill scene. Watch, if you've seen the Three Musketeers movie, there's a scene where he's caught on the windmill, and there's a guy who sticks a sword in his neck, and it's not fake.
That's
it
legit.
goes and it almost cuts his jugular. He was out for like a week or something like that. He almost died.
Jesus.
Because he's so aggressive. Like, so the guys he'd rile the dudes up.
That's fucking dickhead.
It made for awesome. The show was just fantastic. Like him fighting in that is ridiculous. It's not even real sword fighting. It's him being a bully.
This just makes his Proximo character in Gladiator even cooler.
Also talking about not real sword fighting.
Experience.
I once sent a kid to the hospital by scoring a point with epee by hitting him in the neck. Yeah.
Ooh. Got him under
I hit
the
him
mask?
over the mask, but I fucking Oliver Reeded him, and the ambulance had to come.
Shit. Damn, Trev.
So while they were in Spain, they were filming the Three Musketeers, and he was staying at this hotel. And now he was one of these guys. Like Keith Moon and him were already friends at this point. And the two of them, they fucked up hotels like no one else.
That's Rolling Stones drummer, right? Keith Moon.
The Who.
Oh,
But same kind of hell-raising kind of people.
Yeah.
Same era.
Yeah. So he was in this fancy hotel, and he decides to steal all the goldfish out of the tank in the lobby at like 3 o'clock in the morning and puts them in his bathtub. And then he goes to his room. No, I think he broke into the kitchen and whittles down a few carrots to look like the goldfish. The next morning, he wakes up at like 7 or 8, and there's a whole bunch of people checking in, and it's a really crowded lobby. So he reaches into the tank and starts munching on the fish he had made. And the hotel staff is losing their mind. Everyone who's on the production is like, oh my fucking God. The police come, they start taking him away, and he starts shouting, "You can't touch me, I'm a musketeer."
Is he the same guy in that Australian video who's like, "I'm just trying to have my succulent Chinese dinner"?
Yes. He got arrested on the sake of pranks many times. I am barely scratching the surface with this guy. Like I said, just start Googling the guy. Start looking up his talk show appearances. You will have a blast.
Yeah, read the book.
Read the
What's
book.
I'm gonna Google all
what's
of
the
it.
author's
Fresh
name?
lunacy is this?
Go to your
Robert Sellers.
Go
Robert
to your
Sellers.
local library. Ask for what fresh lunacy is this? What fresh lunacy?
What fresh lunacy is
I'll be
this?
like, Connor, Dewey
good
Decimal
title, too.
Me. What's the number, dog?
Most libraries are gonna have that under B read.
All right.
For biography.
I'm just going to walk in and be like,
good to
Dewey
know.
me.
if it was a
handsome.
Dewey, it would be in the 700s.
Look at that.
Oh, he got away with murder because
Early
of how handsome he
700s?
was.
Yeah.
He's sexy, this guy.
Yeah. So Oliver was
yeah.
into his
Beautiful
comforts and passed on several big Hollywood blockbusters. He got offered parts in The Sting and Jaws.
Who is he going to be in Jaws?
I think
The shark.
the shark. Yeah.
He would do
Yeah.
well as the shark.
No, it's whoever Robert Shaw was. I forget.
The one who survived the USS Indianapolis, the captain.
Yes, him.
Shaw's
Yeah.
so good in that.
But and Shaw was also in The Sting, but either he regrets not taking that job. His ambition stopped at drinking with his friends, so he wasn't into Hollywood. He spent some time in Hollywood, but he didn't want to move there. No point was he. Did he see himself being there for more than 6 months?
That's
or
rad as
something?
hell.
Did they offer him Whoopi Goldberg's role in Lion King as
I
one
thought
of
you were
the
gonna say
hyenas? No,
Yeah,
hyenas.
him as
No,
Ghost.
they offered him Whoopi Goldberg's role in Sister Act.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're getting it
Okay.
confused.
Yeah, I'm
That's
getting
true.
confused.
He got cast as Uncle Frank in 1974's Tommy, the Who musical. He's in that. During filming Tommy, he became very close with Keith Moon, as Travis mentioned before. Now, the two of them, I feel like that's a whole episode in its own, just like their lifetime together, which was only 5 years, but they fucked up so much shit. If you go
And
back to
Moon was a lot younger than him, right?
Moon was younger, but he was also apparently a lightweight. Moon was into his drugs because he liked to party, but he couldn't drink like Ollie.
I don't think anyone could.
So one example of the chaos was Ollie's brother, David, his birthday. Keith and Ollie planned a surprise party at the hotel in L.A. where they were staying, and when David walked in to meet Ollie, he noticed that the hotel did not have a front door. And it turns out that Keith had driven his car through the door earlier in the week, and they hadn't replaced it yet. So Keith is hiding in the hotel, and he's already friends with David, too. The party started after a full day of drinking between David and Ollie. At the party, basically what happened was they went drinking at this event, the hotel. And Ollie goes, "Hey, David, let's go for a shower, and then we're going to go out." And then
Together.
and we'll go out together. Yeah. And then
Save
as soon as-
water.
yeah. As soon as David comes down in the hotel, there's the surprise party. So at the surprise party, it's just absolute mayhem. And it's one of those, they put a girl in a cake and have her pop out.
Oh, yes.
That's very 70s.
Yeah. So Moon gets so horned up that he starts going after the girl, all Pepe Le Pew. Not good.
Floating in the air.
Little grab.
His
Yeah.
nose is guiding him to her.
Smell that pie vagina.
I mean, at least he wasn't doing Speedy Gonzalez, because that would be racist.
That'd be racist.
That's right.
Pepe Le Pew can't be in the new Space Jam, but the goons from Clockwork Orange can be in the new Space Jam.
Yes. Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean those rapists?
Yeah, those rapists
The actual
are
rapists? Not
in
the
Space Jam,
implied
but
ones?
not Pepe Le Pew because he's a little controversial.
Yeah.
Really?
What about Rick and Morty? They're both
They're in
rapers.
it. They're in it.
They did rape.
Dude, they've raped.
Pepe Le Pew just wanted to be loved the whole time.
The whole
That's
time.
that's the thing. He's going after one girl and he's just being very nice. He's just like,
Yeah.
No,
"Here are
he's
my
a-
he's
gifts for you.
French.
I know I stink, but like,
Right.
He's a
these are my gifts."
He's a cis white male.
Well, speaking of cis white males, because that's, you know what?
There's my.
I don't want to talk about that anymore. So look, Keith Moons, he's out there running around after this naked girl, and he's like, let me get that pea pie. And she gets away. So he gets all fucking mad and takes one of these decorative swords off the wall and starts slashing at all the chandeliers. And he cuts his hand real bad. And the party's like, "Oh, fuck." And the hotel calls the police. And fucking Ringo Starr's there and he goes, "Here comes trouble." And fucking, there you go. You got this whole, this thing blowing up in the middle of LA. And Ollie's like, "I got the bill. That was the funnest shit in the world.
It's a good party.
Ringo, the most talented Beatle.
Yeah, right. It's pretty common knowledge that he's
the best Beatle.
They wouldn't have been able to do it without him.
Do you think
that's
this
true.
scenario has ever happened with LeVar Burton?
Yeah,
Where
I
he's
think
chasing
so.
after a woman that popped
is
naked out of a
that?
cake?
Reading
or
Rainbow.
Yeah, both. Like, I don't know.
Rainbow
He's
is
like,
LeVar Burton?
Reading? You don't know Reading Rainbow, Mike?
No. Reading
Take
Rainbow?
a look, Mike. Take a look. It's in a book.
Reading Rainbow.
yeah.
All right.
And he's like, hey, today's book is Marquis de Sade.
I was in they
Bingo.
put me in the advanced classes.
Great callback.
Right. So the next few years were full of debauchery. Keith was into his drugs, and like I mentioned, he was a lightweight. All could have easily been the catalyst behind Moon's death. Moon had severe alcoholism, and there's a thought that it's because of Ollie and the way he drank and him trying to keep up with him. Not that he's responsible for Moon, but it kind of led him down a path. Like,
I mean, it's an
Inspired.
like you said, it's an amateur trying to keep up with a pro. Like,
right.
a little dangerous.
Now, Ollie was extremely distraught. He never really got over the whole thing. It kind of went downhill after
Keith's
60. Yeah, I mean, after 78. Ollie, you can look at Ollie's career, and it's a little funkier after this point.
I think that's where the Wikipedia section breaks from his, like, it's like the big break is like one of the titles of his sections, and then it's like his, not fall from grace, but like the equivalent of that.
Was
where
he
it's
in
like
Star Wars,
lesser
though?
roles.
What?
He's in Star Wars, isn't he?
No.
He's not in Star Wars.
You guys just said he was in Star Wars.
No,
Yeah,
it's
no,
not
he was
Peter-
Jar
it's
Jar
not
Binks.
Alec Guinness.
Oh.
Yeah, Alec Guinness and Peter Cushing.
Yeah, I mean, you thinking this dude was like a fucking like old ass Jedi or some shit.
Nah,
No.
but he would have been a good. He honestly would have done a good Kenobis.
No, he would have been a good Darth
No.
Maul.
Adobe.
Yeah. Ooh.
Darth Maul.
Yeah.
It's
It's
Doing
like
his
a
own
drunk,
stunts.
ass Darth Maul.
A drunk Darth Maul with a double-edged lightsaber.
Holding two
Lines.
bottles of gin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different vibe, but same style.
Get over here, train spotting dickhead.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking end you. And you're right.
Anyway, the next few years, like I said, debauchery. This is what's going on. So Oliver, he does meet his counterpoint. One point in time here in his film career, he goes over to America to shoot with Lee Marvin, another man who I think is
I
fantastic.
don't know
Yeah.
who that is.
Oh, yeah.
Heavy
That's all right,
drinker.
Mike. Yeah. Dirty Dozen, Mike.
Yeah.
Dirty Dozen.
Oh, Steve Martin. Good guy.
Steve Martin.
not-
Of course.
Yeah,
that's what
Steve
I said.
Martin.
Not Lee Martin.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I'm
Steve
thinking
just
Steve,
plays
his
banjo
man's
alone.
So,
Mike, there's a great movie called The Jerk. You'd like it a lot.
good. Steve Martin's in that one. I used to watch the trailers for that when I used to fake mono
yeah.
on
They
demand.
used to fake mono.
Why did you stop faking mono?
Well, the doctor
He got
called me
caught.
on my shit.
Yeah.
Well, why do you think he's not on the show all the time? Mike always calls in. He's like, oh, guys, I got mono. I'm making out
I
with
got
so many
mono
chicks.
still. I gotta go.
Making out with all those college girls.
I gotta make out with myself.
Yeah. Dude, I'm making out with all my CSGOs right now.
Yeah,
Gotta find that CS:GO queen.
I gotta hit that go spot.
Not only is Lee Marvin a beautiful specimen of a man, but he is Ollie's drinking counterpart. He can drink just as much, and he even called Ollie out for looking like a fucking banker when he first met.
Oh,
Because
wow.
Lee Marvin was this guy. He's wearing jeans. He's got
Yeah.
like a ripped shirt. He's sleeping on fucking benches. He's like I'm a fucking real actor.
You're a fucking banker
And here you go,
guy.
Ollie Reed. He's in these
My God.
pinstripe suits.
That'd be like the worst insult someone could call me. Like, oh, you look like a fucking banker. I'd have to reevaluate the choices that brought me to that point. Like,
fucking banker.
you think I'm a banker?
You can call me anything.
I'd
You
be
can call me a
like,
prison.
oh,
Don't call
thank
me a
you.
banker.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you need that.
I
I don't think you'd be confused with a banker.
I'd be like, oh wow, you think I have money? That's a very nice comment.
You're a Doge banker.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's
you
true.
know, you don't,
Mike is a
don't hate
Doge
on my
banker.
Doge.
We do,
was
Mike,
a-
we're jealous of
That
your
was a
Doge.
backhanded compliment. I can tell in the tone.
We're
talking
all
about my
jealous
I've
of
been
your
studying
Doge
my acting.
hoard.
All right, I remember that.
Remember that.
Remember-
Don't let me get
Oh,
away with
that's
that
a
now.
good, that would be a good thing. But those guys backed my Doge investment.
That's right. So Lee Marvin and Ollie Reed, they spent some time together. They end up being friends. Ollie Reed starts taking his son Mark out to the shoots. He's now like approaching 19-ish.
Oh.
And he's making him drink pints with him. Also, when he was like 12 or something, he brought him to the pub for the first time and made him drink 7 pints. So he's good. He's fun like that. Lee Marvin is drinking with his son and all this stuff. It's just great. They're a match made in heaven. Shows him about the Wild West. I'm going to move past this. Lee Marvin's great. And maybe I just want to stick on it.
That's part of the culture, right? Is drinking.
Right. All drinking.
Yeah.
Drinking and smoking in bars.
I'm playing games.
In 1978, he filmed The Brood in Toronto with David Cronenberg. I watched that the other day. Gab and I watched that. It's about some really weird children. It's all children.
I mean, a horror movie or like it's a coming of age
Thumbs
drama?
up from Gabs.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
It's kind of like a sci-fi horror.
I'll look at his babies and have
Real fucking weird. Have you ever seen a Cronenberg movie?
No.
The Fly?
But I do love good sci-fi horror.
Yeah, have you ever seen Jeff Goldblum?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you've
Jeff
seen a
Goldblum.
Cronenberg movie.
Oh, sick.
I love him
Jurassic
in
Park
Death
is a
Wish.
Cronenberg movie?
I wish that he just stopped mid transformation into the Fly. And that was it.
He was just chilling.
Like he just kept the makeup on from
Yep.
that midpoint.
Yep.
And that was his whole career.
That's Jeff Goldblum now. That's what he looks like. He gets out of the fucking trailer in Jurassic Park 2 and he goes,
He's sexy.
during the filming of The Brood, he took a bet to walk between pubs butt naked.
that's
He was
savage.
arrested and he was brought back to this police station where the police had a great time talking with him, but the production team had to get him out and all that stuff. It's fun. It's Oliver Reed stuff. He loved getting naked and just walking around and
I
having
feel like
more
British
drinks with
people
other
just
people.
like that.
Did we hit the movie where he wrestled naked with a guy in front of the fire? Did we hit that movie yet?
Yeah, that was the Hanging Dong one. That's
Yeah.
so
So that was the Hanging Dong.
Women in Love.
Women in Love.
Women
There
in
we
Love.
go.
Yeah.
Because that was another great part of the Wikipedia read. It was Women in Love, where it was like he wrestled. It was just like a quick throwaway line where it's like he wrestled naked with so and so for this movie, and then it's all on its own. It's just like that's the line.
It
That's
was a huge part of that is cinema history. And funny
They
enough,
didn't mention that. That's a huge part of cinema history. They didn't mention that in the article.
Oh, the thing is like cinema's always dominated by Hollywood, and Americans are prude. You go
They
to
are
England, they're all
Very.
about just trying to take their pants off as fast
England.
as possible, getting as drunk as possible, and taking their pants off as fast as possible.
They got naked news there, right? Isn't that a thing?
No, that's like
House of
Eastern
News?
Europe, dude.
Yeah, you're thinking like you're thinking like the Eastern Bloc.
Yeah, you're thinking like Kazakhstan and shit.
I mean, the thought process is right. It's over the ocean.
Well, you
And-
got page 3, which is just it's like the newspaper, and then you flip one page, and it's just like now it's Playboy.
That's
awesome.
That's the best way to digest your news.
Yeah,
I watched. I'm not gonna say it.
right. Thanks, Mike.
Mike watched Godzilla in
It
1999.
had nothing to do with this. I don't know why I was gonna bring it. It was a British TV show I used to watch.
Which one?
Skins UK.
Oh,
Oh,
I
the
watched the
Skins.
first
Yeah.
season.
I love that show.
Did you
Growing
like-
up,
I wouldn't be surprised if Oliver liked that show. That's probably right up his alley.
A lot of
Pushing the
drinking,
boundaries,
smoking, yeah.
a lot of nudity, a lot of
nudity,
drinking.
Yeah.
He made all those kids look like bitches. You know what's great about this whole script is that what I wrote in my pages here is that he's technically not even drinking. I saved all
He's
the drinking
sober.
bits for later.
Oh, okay.
So we're still in the sober part.
Right. So now he's drinking.
He's
but
straight
we're gonna
edge
talk
at
about
this
his
point.
drinking antics. Okay, so it's claimed that Ollie would drink to overcome his shyness.
It helps.
Sure does.
What do they call it?
That's-
Liquid strength?
Liquid courage.
Liquid courage.
That's surprising because you mentioned that he jumped into a river in front of the 82nd Airborne when he was 6,
Right.
and hanging out at bars when he was a kid. So I'm surprised that he's shy. He seemed like a very outgoing child, but I guess that can.
It seemed weird because when he was sober, he was mild-mannered to the people he knew, and he wasn't great at introductions and small talk and stuff, which is very strange because the picture I'm painting doesn't always line up.
That lines up where it's
Yeah.
like he's a great friend when you're his friend,
Right.
But if he's a stranger, you might feel a little distance,
Right. So
Right.
you only see Shaquille O'Neal on the basketball court, and he's 6'9". But when you see him in real life, he's actually 5'3".
Shaq is 7'2" on the basketball court.
7'2".
He's 7'2", 360. Let's.
Okay. He's 7'2", but in real life, when you meet him, he's actually 5'3".
Wow.
You're a fucking
That's
liar,
That's how it
Travis.
works. No, I'm not a liar.
He's as tall as my friend who we call Short Jimmy.
Who's rather short. I would
Rather
assume.
short because there's 2 Jimmys and the other one's not that short.
Right. He's medium.
Yeah.
This guy, he was into his fights. He lost a lot of fights, actually. He was a good fighter at times, but that guy Reg, who I mentioned, he really took over a lot.
Low Reg.
Now, if you remember, we did Jim Morrison on the show, and Jim Morrison liked to hang from balconies when he was drunk, and ledges of windows, and just why not? But
Well, we actually did Jim Morrison twice, because we did Jim Morrison. We also did Rush Limbaugh.
oh right, yeah, that's the same guy.
Same guy.
I
Same
forgot.
man.
It's good that in the first part he didn't actually die.
Yeah, no, he didn't die. Tom, you fucked up, dude. You were supposed to like roast. Well, I mean, he did die eventually, but he wasn't dead when you did Jim Morrison.
He wasn't. He just looked like
He just
a
looked
man,
dead.
He looked like a man who had opinions that he needed to share.
Yeah.
Rush Limbaugh. Rest in hell.
What a guy. I like him because he's funny. And not only did he hang from the windows like Jim Morrison, he made Jim Morrison look like a bitch by hanging other people out the windows. He would just take
Dracula.
his friends and lady fellas and just go, "Do you want a drink? You want to hang out with a real man?"
Like Oliver, chill, bro.
I love this.
Try to have a fucking drink, not hang out a window.
And he
So
wasn't
cool.
doing it with babies like fucking Michael Jackson, right?
No. You're talking about like full-bodied people. Very
Full-bodied
scary.
Look at I mean, just look at his forearms.
Yeah,
and
he's
you
very
can realize,
aggressive.
like, oh, he's not going to drop them.
He won't.
He's gonna keep a hold.
Yeah.
It's on them to let
But he's
go.
drunk though. He's a little shaky.
No. This guy won like hundreds and hundreds of arm wrestling competitions.
On
He's
top of
jacked.
which, while he was most of those, he was drunk, and he used to do this thing. Is basically just like planking, but for strong people instead of retards. He used to do that thing where I think it's called planketting, where you hold your whole body weight up on two arms and kind of like tip over, like you're doing a push up, but with
We're like feet off the ground.
feet off the ground.
Holy
He used to do
shit.
that all over the place. Like any bar he went to, he'd be like, "Do you want to watch me do this?" He would get hammered and just do it. It was great.
Wow.
See, but Tom, that's the way to do it. You got to get hammered and do it, not like, namaste, I'm connecting with the earth. This is my yogurt
No,
position.
it's like, fuck this shit. I'm gonna push the earth away from
Yeah.
me. Like,
Because I feel like I see people do that, and they're like, this is my namaste, touch my butthole position. And they're like in the middle
Maybe it
of
is.
Colorado, and they're like, I lived here for 3 weeks.
no,
You
his
think it
philosophy
is?
seemed much
What?
more like the.
You think that it is the butthole?
What, yoga?
Yeah.
I guess so.
All right.
Stretch your ass out.
Mike, you should do yoga videos for our Patreon.
You want me to?
Yeah.
I think I think the Patreon listeners want you to.
I've been starting to jump rope too.
Oh
Like
yeah.
a fucking clown. But yeah,
Jumping rope is a great exercise.
yeah, it's hard.
It's a really good way to lose weight. That's
Yeah.
why boxers do
I'm
it.
trying to do
Yeah.
it.
It's a way to
I got
keep
these-
weight.
You got cut, man. You got them titties coming in.
I got the
Apollo
titties
Mike.
jumping. I got them gutties
Mike,
jumping.
we'll start doing jumping. We'll start doing
Let's
jump
do it.
rope
Let's
together
jump
at the
some rope.
house. Yeah,
I have like a really vintage shitty one. It's got like metal like clips at the end of it.
you can really hear the clank, clank,
Yeah,
clank,
it's
clank.
vintage.
Oliver Reed would challenge people to drinking competitions constantly, and he liked preying on people who he knew shouldn't be drinking. If you saw someone who was rather skinny or small,
It's a fucking bully.
oh yeah, Oliver Reed's definitely a bully, but that's why he's funny.
That's not. Sometimes bullies aren't funny.
What do you want? No,
I don't know. Sometimes
It's like
you
a
see
50-50 shot if a bully is going to be funny or
Yeah,
if a
you
bully's
can go
going to be a
either
dick.
way. You're right. You're right. You're either way.
He seems like the funny kind of bully.
The best
lighthearted bullying.
The best bully watches WWE, NXT. They know how to bully.
Well, they're the heel of their friend group, and then
Yeah.
it's like you fit in. You're
Yeah.
the heel. You're
Yeah.
playing the role.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, he just got into it. Some of these bars, he used to start wine bottle fights. He was big on throwing wine bottles. Remember I said he would crack them over each other's heads and
Yeah.
stuff like that?
That's what I
So
heard.
so instead of like the Three Stooges or Marx Brothers pie fight, it's just like glass bottles of wine. Okay, cool. Perfect.
He actually, speaking of pie fight,
Lit.
once he was attending the opening of a show, and Keith Moon had hired someone to pie him. And then after pieing him, give him a card that said, "You're now part of the Pied Face Society."
Okay.
And Oliver Reed was just like, "Fuck the movie, let's drink now." That was funny.
That's Jean-Luc Godard did not get that same memo when he got pied by a random fan. Have you seen that video? He's just an old
I haven't,
man
actually.
getting fucking pied.
Was it funny?
Yeah, kind of.
For
He
us.
comes off of an escalator. He's like, why the fuck?
For us, it's funny.
Yeah.
That's good. Remember how I said he was generous? He was also outlandish with his promises while drinking, and he held them true. He bought a drinking buddy a house to make good on a drunken promise. This guy,
My God.
Pat Clancy, he wasn't even that close to the guy. He just went over to him in a bar one night, and the guy was just saying, fucking bastards, bastards, bastards. He's like, why? Who's the bastards? He's just like, the army, because he, basically the guy had spent all of his, what do they call it, the pension or whatever the army gives you. They give you one lump sum.
Severance pay.
Yeah, severance pay, whatever.
British Jeffrey bucks.
So
The British GI Bill.
Oliver's like, that's crazy. You spent it all on whores and stuff like that. What would you do if you had that money now? And he was like, I'd probably buy a house. And Ollie's like, well, if I become famous, I'll do that for you. And he did just that. And he went out and he bought Pat Clancy a house in Dublin, Ireland, or just outside. And then when Clancy died, there was a squatter family living there. And he had heard about it through his attorney or David or whatever. And he was just like, nah, just like keep paying it. We'll let them live there.
I'm just thinking if I had to keep every promise I made when I was drunk, I would be both broke and dead, probably.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yes.
Definitely.
I would be out of money, and I would also have died a couple of years
process.
ago.
Yeah, my anus would also be very large.
That's a you thing, Travis.
That's a
Yeah,
man.
but I can appreciate it.
I would just be dead. I wouldn't have that problem. But,
My anus would probably be about the same size.
Oh, well,
But-
but I would be dead.
Yep. Mike,
Yeah.
have you made any stupid drunk promises?
I never make a promise I can't hold.
That's
Even
nice.
when drunk?
I respect my promises.
Wow.
I'm a legit
You got a
promise
regular own
person,
Oliver
yeah.
Reed over here.
A pinky promise, forget about it. That's just got a guarantee.
Nice. That's extra guarantee, as if the other one isn't guarantee enough.
So,
We gotta make sure the pinky. You can kind of fib a promise, pinky promise. You can't break a pinky promise.
Yeah, I hear you.
that's fucked.
Mike, I'm going to
Some
hold
real
you to a
shit.
promise where I gave you a bunch of money and you're supposed to, like, make it back.
What do you mean? I'm still,
So it
it's
seems like
growing.
you have an outgoing promise.
Outgoing
it's
promise.
growing.
Okay.
It's
It's
growing.
in my inbox.
I thought I had to
pen-
pay you
that
guys
was so
back.
pending.
What happened to that? You want it back? You want the money back? I get the money back.
No, I wanted you to flourish. I wanted you to be the next Mike on Musk.
I got fucked.
Just hold it there.
Just hold
I
Mike.
did, and I was like, "Oh,
You're still definitely up on
You mean
Dogecoin.
still?
There's
I
no way
was
you're
like-
down on Dogecoin.
I was like, I'm gonna miss out on the 10 grand. Tom's like 10 grand by the end of May.
Just
I
want
didn't say
to
that.
point it
10
out that
grand.
I
Mike.
never said that.
Just want to point out that Mike put on the Pit Vipers during
Yeah,
this
yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
10 grand end of
More
May.
like pit vipers, more like shame vipers.
Shame
Yeah.
vipers. So
Or
I
like
also
5 grand to 1,200.
You're doing fine.
yeah. I forgot what modern comparison I compared him to before.
Now, last episode,
The
perhaps.
last
We don't know what
episode.
cut is.
Yeah, the last episode I
talking shit
referred to
about me?
him. But I also feel like
Oliver Reed.
he's like Jeremy Clarkson before he apologized for calling someone like a fag or something.
Who's Jeremy? Oh,
You gotta watch Top Gear, man.
Yeah,
oh
Top-
my god,
Yeah,
the best television show ever made.
Yeah.
I love that show. And you know what? They're very much cut from the same cloth, but Jeremy Clarkson is.
He
a
doesn't
little
drink
too high crust.
as
He
much.
sounds a little too high crust.
Yeah.
For
Well, Oliver Reed also sounded high crust too.
No, but like Clarkson was actually like born a little bit wealthy, whereas
Yeah.
Reed was not.
right.
And I don't think Clarkson drank as much as Oliver Reed
no.
does.
No,
He's
James
prob-
May maybe, but
Yeah, maybe.
definitely
Yeah.
not. Definitely
He's
not
probably a fan. I'll throw that. So you know how
Yeah.
I said he was generous and he bought the guy the house. So he was a little too generous because sometimes he used to just get kids drunk for fun. He liked to spike drinks. So at the
Bill
Oliver-
Cosby vibes.
Well, he wasn't a raper. He was never a raper.
Yeah, as long as
No,
you
it's
fuck
just-
That
him.
we know of.
He wanted to get them drunk for them, not for him.
Yeah.
So at the Oliver Rat Party, all the 10-year-olds, he did all the dancing and stuff. He spiked all the cokes with vodka.
With Coca? Oh,
Well,
that would have been way
You don't
cooler.
think he's doing some such shit like that? The fuck?
He's not a kid, dude.
drunk?
Wait,
So, okay.
Tom, hold on. Before we move on, was he into other, like you just mentioned Coke? I'm assuming, we don't know when he died so far. He lived through the 80s. Was he a Cokeman?
No.
Okay.
No, he seemed like a straight drinker, right?
He was a drinker, and for a while he grew weed. at Broome Hall. So he
Okay.
would smoke weed. That was like a short-lived thing, though.
And he probably smoked a
Quaaludes.
shit ton of tobacco.
Oh yeah, he would smoke.
Like-
I don't know. Actually,
Quaaludes?
I don't know. He skipped the Quaalude thing. He was really just like an alcohol
No,
guy.
just alcohol. Yeah. Because like you
Missed
said,
that.
that quote that you had in the beginning kind of summed him up perfectly, where it's like he just loved pub culture.
Yeah.
And as Travis, you can attest to this.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who lived in England for 6 months, pub culture is fucking awesome. Like,
Dude, it is
Yeah.
so good.
it's
The
very,
fact-
it's very different than bar culture in America, where like, you know, you just go to the pub.
yeah, you
Like,
can
just
sit
hang
on a
out.
couch. You can do schoolwork, get drunk, eat fucking fatty
I did
carb
a lot of
food.
studying / essay writing in a pub with
Yeah.
like 3 pints lined up next.
Yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
great.
It's great.
Wow. Yeah. See, that was the culture he was into, and he liked extending bar culture outside of or pub culture outside of that. So
The-
only on
The biggest thing about American bars that are the problem, right? And you see this if you think of the stereotypical dive bar, right? You have a bar, you sit at the bar, and in England you would sit at the bar as well. But there's a big ass mirror in front of the bar. In a typical dive bar. And you just sit there and you drink and you look at yourself and you drink. In
Like,
an
yeah, I'm
English
fucking
pub,
sad.
you know, you could sit at the bar, you could eat a sandwich, you talk to the person. There's no big mirror in front of you.
Yeah.
The mirror
Yeah.
is the problem.
Yeah,
Gives the
there's a
effect
footy
of more
game going
people.
on in front of you.
Yeah.
So you're just watching whatever local game's happening, and you're just like, this is fucking sweet.
They're trying to Jesus you with the mirror. So smash all the mirrors in your local
Smash
dive bar.
all mirrors.
Love that. That's a good thing. I like Irish bars, but I was always questionable about looking at myself.
Smash the mirrors. Great
I hate
advice,
myself.
Travis.
I'm
Great
so
advice.
hideous looking too.
I always
so
go to
it
the
goes
fist
away.
bumping bars.
No,
Oh,
those
yeah,
are
yeah,
clubs.
well,
It's
you're-
hard, yeah. It's
Yeah,
hard to
you're
get
very
a beer.
popular with the Gotti family now after your show you did.
Yeah, I got a little hair gel.
Yeah, how's the commute from North Dakota going?
Very good. Which reminds me, I'm not here right now.
Still not
I'm
here.
not
Oh,
on Long
you're
Island.
Still
at
not
all.
on Long Island.
How's the
This is
weather
a
in Fargo,
hologram.
dude?
It's pretty quiet. I'll say that.
quiet
you
weather.
know,
Well,
a lot
Quiet
of,
weather.
Buffalo. Right? Is this
definitely
Buffalo?
no hurricanes.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of good vibes.
A lot of good vibes. Good vibes
vibes.
all around. Let's get back to this Oliver Reed fella. He calls the Portly Club.
you
It's
guys
a
laughing at
club
me?
he created to make drinking events. Basically, it was he wanted to do the bar shit outside in Broome Hall, and this is the club he had at his house in Broome Hall. No women, of course.
Oh,
'cause women,
Sausage Fest.
Sausage
So-
Fest. You got to see they used to do things like black tie initiations events in which you'd have to wear a black tie and nothing else.
Oh, fuck yeah.
This is what happens when you don't got like video games and shit. You gotta do
This
shit
is
like
better
that.
than video games.
That
I
would
would give up every
kidding
minute of
me?
Tony Hawk I've played to be with this guy for like a day.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck. You go to 7-Eleven, get a
No,
12
that's-
pack, go play Call of Duty.
That sounds like the funniest party you could possibly attend, where it's like black tie only, not black, not like wear a black tie tux, a black tie as the only
Just-
article of clothing you're allowed to wear.
Can I wear it anywhere on my body?
Can I say something?
Sure.
Have you ever heard of black tie optional?
Optional.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
Show up naked.
So either naked or a black tie.
Tom.
All it's allowed.
Tom,
Yes.
bachelor party, black tie.
That's a hard
only.
one.
that's what we're doing.
What
No,
happens when you
Travis,
fart?
Travis, black tie optional.
What happens when I
Black
fart?
tie optional.
Then you
Yeah.
got to fart in front of the boys.
For the
You know what?
boys.
It'll be a silent one.
Remember I was
But
telling you about the spear game and the penicillin cup?
yeah.
Sometimes they do that shit naked.
You just gotta make a lot of loud noises and fart.
Yeah.
The-
You're like, ah, couldn't hear my fart. I actually farted just now.
I can smell it. But I
No,
can't
you
tell
can't.
who it
Not
is.
Maybe now you could smell it, but like
We have enough cigarettes going on and
I need a
pipes and
cigarette
shit.
so bad right now.
We're gonna smoke soon.
Oh, I can't wait
We're
to
just-
I can't wait to get another scar from your bachelor party. I still have one from Jim's.
I'm gonna get your other leg.
Yeah, get my other leg.
Can I give you a tattoo, Travis?
Yeah, I'll give you a tattoo, dude. It'll be a
No, I wanna
fucking
give you
Homer
a
sucking a big
tattoo.
old fucking
Oh,
dick.
I want to give you a tattoo.
no. Mike is gonna tattoo pit vipers on your ass.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. A permanent pit vipers on your face.
Oh, I like that, dude. I'll be like post Malone, post margarine.
Post marinara.
Post. I can't believe it's not butter.
Okay, well,
Oliver-
you can be pre-Malone.
So Oliver is inspiring
Yeah.
all these parties for us.
Right,
I
exactly.
feel a little hostility from Travis a little bit.
Why? Well, because you're both wearing pit vipers and you can't see
This
each
is
other's
Alex-
eyes.
That's what
Alpha's
happens. The
just looking at each other.
testosterone comes out, and we're even through the
let me
internet.
let me explain something about the psychology of what's happening right now. Now, Travis and Mike are both wearing their pit vipers, as they should. Now, something I
You
learned
have to
from
do, wait,
Oliver
Tom.
Reed.
You have to do this in like a David Attenborough voice.
Two gentlemen wearing their pit vipers.
Now, you see what's going on here. You have two men. And behind their eyes is only imagination. You can assume only that they're not blinking. And two men with straight hair, not curly hair, because when you have curly hair, you look like a fucking idiot. Straight hair. Rather intimidating. Silence.
Who is the aggressor?
Are you staring at me, Travis? You motherfucker.
Dude, I'm gonna fuck you. I'm gonna fuck you.
Now one
Oh
of
yeah.
them
Not gay. I'm gonna fuck
striking
you.
force.
All right.
Now, these
all right,
two straight homosexuals are now looking at each other. Neither of them are blinking because they're ready to fuck. They're ready to pounce. They're ready to inject each other with lovely gravy.
Lovely
if you would.
gravy.
Yes,
Mike,
lovely gravy.
Mike, meet me at the fucking Brody barn. I'm gonna fuck you in the fucking ass.
What was the guy's middle name again? It was like Boombox. No, it was like Boombar.
Who's
Right?
Boombar?
Oh,
I'll meet you at the Boombar.
the alpha male is pounced.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know he's
real.
pounced. Now we have one alpha male ready to rape the other, and the other one wants to rape back.
Not gay, bro.
It's not. It's
Intimidation. It's step one, no blinking. And the two of you, as far as I'm concerned, haven't been blinking.
We can't tell.
You're-
Who's
Well,
blunt.
Mike,
Who's
here's
blunt?
the thing, though. I could rape you as long as I don't blink or kiss you. It's not
It's
gay.
not rape if you enjoy it. This is off topic. We're on the topic of pit vipers, but if you open your eyes a long time and you look back and forth, like left and right, without moving your face, your adrenaline kicks in.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what Jason Statham does?
Yeah, that's
Some
crank.
neuroscience just start.
Wait, so it's just
neuroscience.
unfocus and look left and right?
Yeah, you just like stare straight and look left and right without moving your face at all, like a bunch of times.
He's going to punch us. Connor's going at it.
Your adrenaline's gonna kick
Yeah.
in.
I mean, it's waking me up for sure. Like,
You're gonna feel it. I swear.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't move
what
your
you
head
want.
at
I
all.
definitely woke up a little.
Yeah,
Like,
the
got a little more energy.
inside monologue for Connor is like, "Wake me up, I can't wake up."
Wake me up.
Travis, all jokes aside, get your phone ready because I'm about to get beat up by three people trying this maniac move.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna run to Portland to fight you.
No, that's why
They're
I'm
all
over here in
trying-
Portland. I just want to see Tom get beat up. I'm safe.
They're all trying to be Ollie Reed, but they're going to turn to Joe Spinell and fucking cut the top of my head off. All
I'm gonna turn to Joe Rogan, man. Watch out.
right,
Mike's got
let's
that
continue.
elk blood.
Yeah. Alpha
Okay,
brain.
let's go back to something. So he was filming something in Wales, a project that never went through, but his co-star in the film was none other than O.J. Simpson. Now, the two of them got hammered and started arguing over the toughness of rugby versus American football. So that they were both fucked up. And I think Oliver Reed stands up first and basically just like headbutts him and goes, "That's what rugby is like." And O.J. Simpson gets up and goes, "Oh," and just blasts him and beats him up, knocks him over the bar.
Let's do a Hertz
and he
commercial.
Goes, that's what American football is like.
Dude.
That's my impression of him.
Holy shit.
I don't.
And then,
I don't.
no, this continues. Hold
Okay.
on. Let me finish the story.
You take in now.
Yeah. So the two of them are doing this back and forth, and they're in a bar in Wales, and they've never been there before, so they don't even give a fuck who Oliver Reed is.
Dear
And there's one
Humbug.
guy sitting at the bar. We don't know this guy's name, but we have several witnesses who accounted for this whole thing, Reg being one of them. He's looking, this guy, skinny little Welsh dude who's got dirt on him from a long day. The two guys are going crazy. They're making this this ruckus. The guy goes, "Hey, I'm trying to enjoy my beer here." And one of them approaches him. I don't know who approached first. Either way, they both get up on this guy who's stopping them, and the guy knocks them both out cold.
Dude, well,
And then Reg comes up to him and tries to like contain him, and he said he never felt a man as strong as this guy.
so
Holy
so
shit.
as someone that lived in that country, I will say this. So you guys know Burt Reynolds, another famous actor who
Love him.
also died.
Another great mustache.
Great mustache. Burt Reynolds got fucked by people in Georgia, literally, or his friend got fucked
In Deliverance.
in Deliverance. That is
Right.
what Wales is to England.
Oh, okay. Right.
So
So
I was like, what does Georgia have to do?
no, yeah, well, I'm just saying Georgia
Georgia
Wales is the Georgia of
Georgia
the UK.
England. Okay.
That's awesome.
That's
That's
amazing.
really great to know.
So if there's anybody that's
I
gonna
hope that
knock
guy's still
out,
alive.
if there's
Me too.
anybody that's gonna knock out two burly ass men, it's gonna be in Wales.
It's fucking O.J. Simpson and Oliver Reed.
His tombstone should read, knocked out Oliver Reed and O.J. Simpson. Like, that's all it should say.
No
Not even
questions
his date of
asked.
birth or death, just knocked out Oliver Reed
That's-
and O.J.
That's the only important shit.
yeah.
Okay, so here's a fun one. He's the OG David Blaine.
Oh, magic.
Shit.
Now
He's
I'm talking about-
disappearing?
Chris Angel, you mean?
Nah, even better.
Sorry.
Mind freak.
So he had this thing that he loved doing.
Yeah, no, Tom. Sorry, I'm not
pulling his
interested.
cock
You said
out.
it wasn't mind freaked.
It wasn't mind free, but listen to me.
All right.
He used to go to restaurants, and to fuck with the wait staff, he would start eating his meal, and then whenever they came over, be like, "Oh, Mr. Reed, how's your meal?" He would go, "It's shit. I hate it. I'd rather eat one of these," and then would reach into whatever lantern was on the table and unscrew the light bulb and crunch into it and start chewing it and
Oh,
swallow it.
A glass bottle?
A glass bulb, like straight out of whatever a lamp.
All right, he's fucking weird.
dude. So
It's
we were talking on the last episode about Vigo fucking kicking a fucking helmet.
Kicking a helmet, yeah.
Right, and Tom and I both took Vigo and like did the whole cigarette out on the tongue, right? Like
He used to do that too.
in
Ollie
Eastern
Reed
Promise
did that.
Oh, he
The
did
cigarette
that.
on the tongue.
He was big on the cigarette on the tongue.
So
Oh shit! But like not
Him-
eating a light bulb. Like
How do you eat a
Him
fucking
chewing the light
light
bulb.
bulb?
the closest thing I've ever heard of this is I don't want to say his name. One of my friends was up in Binghamton for Parade Day, which is like the big party in March for Binghamton. I don't even know if they still do it anymore.
Binghamton, New York.
Yeah, Binghamton, New York, the
where I live.
the
College
sunniest
town.
place in New York City, New York State. I mean.
Not from New York at all.
Anyway,
I mean.
yeah, Mike from North Dakota doesn't know where Binghamton is. So this guy, it was at Parade Day, and because it's in March and it's college, people kept their like Christmas trees were still up at this point,
Yeah.
and he's really drunk, and someone does. I don't even know what the first person who did what they did, but they did something that everyone was like, "Wow, look at what that person just did. That's crazy." And he goes, "That's not crazy at all." And he rips an ornament off of the Christmas tree that is in arm's reach and just eats it. Just a regular old Christmas ornament and just munches
Was it
it
glass?
down. Glass
Oh.
Christmas ornament just eats the whole thing. Big bite, bites into it, and then chews the rest.
Yo!
And so that's the closest I've heard to that.
That's
is
pretty crazy.
him
I mean, like
eating a light bulb.
yeah,
Damn.
yeah. He's
I
like
knew a guy who ate a Christmas ornament.
he's like this shit fucked up
Yeah,
Joe Pesci's
fuck.
foot. I'm gonna eat it.
And everyone was like, "Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?" And he's like, "No, because you challenged me." And they're like, "No one challenged
No
you
one
to
challenged
do this. No one was saying you couldn't do this."
Your friend there might have a lot in common with our friend Oliver Reed.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
he
Oh,
was
yeah.
that
Yeah.
guy who was just like, "You want me to do
You
this?
want me to do this?
You
He's
want me
like,
to
"Oh,"
do this?"
and everyone in the room was like, "No."
Yeah, I'll jump in the bush. I'll go to the third floor. I'll jump in the bush. And I was just like, you don't have to do that. No, we're just having a party
Yeah.
here. We're listening to the fucking
Yeah.
Pink Floyd or
Yeah.
some shit.
Please.
And he's just like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take my pants off. I'm going to take this woman with me.
Yeah, please.
Big old bite of it, a Christmas ornament.
Yeah, it's like please
Yeah.
stop. We're listening to Chill Hop. We're smoking a little bit of marijuana. Don't fucking take your pants off and fucking boof a light bulb.
Yeah, and this is like at 11:30 in the morning. He's eating a Christmas ornament.
This is amazing.
I'm trying to listen to Electric Light Orchestra. Please stop
Yeah.
eating a light bulb. Great.
Okay, so while in
Sober.
Zambia, he filming some movie. I forgot.
That's
write
also
down which
not
one.
even
Oh.
a country anymore, but that's cool.
Yeah, which is kind of fun.
Zimbabwe?
It's the DR,
No,
right?
Yeah, Zambia's. I think
Oh,
the
Zambia.
no.
Is it the
Not
DR?
I mean, maybe I'm thinking of Zaire.
Which DR are you talking about? Not the Dominican Republic.
No,
No, the Democratic Republic of Congo.
No, that was Zaire.
Zaire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, another Z boy.
All right, so Zambia is a
Zambia, I
country.
think is.
That's still a country, actually. I think you're right. I think it's.
I don't know. I think it's a new name.
Yeah, no, I think
Well,
it's gone.
Either
dude.
way,
But anyway, keep going.
It
Tom.
doesn't
I didn't
matter.
mean
Look.
to really after we just started.
Oh, way to go, Travis.
No, thanks, Mike.
So he's in Zambia, and he befriends a farmer, And the two were drinking quite heavily, and the farmer started talking about how he hunted big game. So Oliver goes, "Oh, really? That's pretty cool. I used to be in the military." And the guy's just like, "Oh, it's pretty interesting." So then Oliver starts spinning a yarn. He goes, "I used to be a marksman." He wasn't.
No.
Bullshit.
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 We know
All
this.
fake.
So the guy goes, "Oh, that's great. That's amazing." And he goes, "Yes, the Queen actually has my number." And
Weird flex, Oliver.
yeah, he flexes weird. It's a fake flex too. He goes, "The Queen has my number," and she says, "If I've told her if she ever needs me, she can call me directly." And the guy goes, "Oh, it's amazing. He must be a great marksman." So he takes out a rifle and he goes, "See that clothespin on that hanger across my garden there? Shoot it off." And Ollie's like, "All right." So to his own surprise, he shoots it.
Oh shit.
And he's like, "Damn, I can't believe I did that."
Maybe he
So,
was a
so he's like
And the
the
guy goes-
he's the opposite of William S. Burroughs, who.
Well, let me continue
Okay,
the story.
all right, okay.
Let's hear the
Let's
rest.
get a
Alright,
full
let's see.
view of this story. So the farmer goes, "Wow, that was amazing," and Ollie goes, "Oh, he always played cool, calm." He goes, "That was nothing
It's easy.
at all." So he goes, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to stand over here. Why don't you shoot this cigarette out of my hand?"
Holy
shit.
So
I'm seeing.
not even
I'm
as
seeing some
far as the
Leopold
clothespin.
foreshadowing right now.
Well, here we go. So the Zambian cigarette smoking farmer holds his cigarette up in the air about, I don't know, 15, 20 paces away from the guy. Ollie lines up his sights and bam, right through his fucking hand. Now, Ollie is a little freaked out at this point. He's having a hard time keeping his cool, as he usually does. Zambian farmer goes, "Damn, man, that was fucking good. You were so close."
That's an amazing attitude to have.
Yeah.
After getting your hand shot.
He's gushing blood. He's like, but you're so close.
You almost hit
I'd be
it.
like, you fucking suck.
That's probably what I would have done too.
Yeah.
Like, hey, man.
Marksman my ass, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Anyway,
bullshit.
that's fun. In
Zambia,
what
by the way,
happened to
still,
that?
still
That's
exists.
it. That's the end of the story.
Yeah,
Because he
he
just
fixed
bandaged
his
up his
hand?
hand and then kept drinking.
The fuck?
Dude, that's
These are
great.
tough people, Mike.
My
Amazing.
brother, fuck your hole in my hand, dude.
He's Jesus.
Oh, you're right.
Dude, I mean, that's how.
He's all overage. Fuck
Yeah,
it.
that's how
That was
society
sick
should
enough.
still be. Like, you just get drunk, and maybe someone will draw like a caricature of you at the end of the night, like with a rosy nose.
That's
you know,
fire.
like that's it.
So sick.
Maybe someone will draw a dick on the side of your face when you're sleeping, when you're passed out.
And they won't shoot a hole
They
through your
want
hand.
you to hold
Yeah.
your hand, yeah.
I mentioned before, Keith Moon died in 1978. Oliver was crushed. Things were not going well at this time. Broom Hall, the costs were adding up, and the British film movement had already peaked. So he had already seen these Hollywood film offers that he should have taken. They disappeared. Started drying
Gone.
up. Money is real scarce
Tight,
right now.
yeah.
So he sells Broom Hall. Very unfortunate. And he moved into a mansion in Penhurst, Sussex. Later on, he does move to Cork County, Ireland, as a tax haven, where O'Brien's Bar becomes his new second home.
Oh.
So
We're kind of bouncing around now. As I mentioned,
but he also
Cork,
probably
an
moved.
awesome
He
town.
also probably moved to Ireland because he saw them as like an overlord. Be like, hey, how much can you boof in your asshole? I am English. Like here's a
Good
bunch
eye.
of
remember I told the story.
here's
I'm-
a bunch
I'm
of
not
here's
sure
a bunch of nails. I know you're gonna use this as a bomb, but how many can you put in your butthole?
I mean, you're right. It's like it's pretty bold as a big Thatcher fan
Right?
to move to Ireland to be like, "Hey, I love Margaret Thatcher. By the way, I'm moving to
Going to
Ireland."
Cork.
Like,
Yeah.
Do you remember earlier in this tale when I told about Pat Clancy, the guy who he bought the house for?
yeah.
So apparently, when he went scouting, he fell in love with Ireland. Then that
Okay.
was the idea. That's why he moved
Makes
to
sense.
the area.
Beautiful country.
Beautiful, absolutely.
My home.
But do you also think that was part of his imperialism, where he's like, I can move to Ireland and these are subhumans?
He's trying to like reestablish the British gentry
Right?
of Cromwell.
Yeah,
Like,
right? Like,
I think it was more of the
Aesthetics.
amount of money. Saw it.
I think it's a big part is Ireland in the 80s was like, we're going to lower our tax rate for foreign nationals.
yeah. And
Bring in
also,
a
like,
lot of money.
and also, like, you could bang up an Irish broad and, like, pay off the Catholic Church, and you're good.
Yeah, you're set.
Yeah.
It's easy. Anyone could do that.
Oi.
So by the 80s, Reed was known more for his drinking and insane behavior than his acting. His appearances on talk shows became excellent. They are some of the finest shit I mentioned before. Get on YouTube. Just type in Oliver Reed talk show. You will find only the best stuff. He started off slow, but by the mid-'80s, he was dancing around with no pants on certain shows. He was talking about his dick tattoo, which he did
that's
have.
fire.
Oh, he had a dick
And
tattoo?
pretty much,
Can you cover that now?
Yeah, can you cover it
let's
right
go
now?
with dick tattoo.
Like-
Tribal tat?
You can't just breeze
Yeah, no,
past
Tom,
that.
that's
You're
a-
going to get back to it
That's
later.
poor
I just-
scripting.
Come on.
What is
That's
this dick
fucked up.
tattoo?
It was a prompt. It was a prompt for you guys to start asking me about this.
Okay,
So,
all right.
Okay.
he's out. He was out. He had one tattoo prior to this, and it was an eagle head on his shoulder blade. And he was out drinking one time. Fuck, where the hell was he? I'm forgetting now, but either way, he was out with his brother and someone else. Oh no, he was in LA. He was in LA partying with like Keith Moon and shit, and he decided that he wanted to get a tattoo on his cock
Oh.
of the eagle's
Talons?
talons on the cock.
To make,
Fantastic.
so like almost like make it look like an eagle's talons
Was
like gripping
the
his
perch.
dick?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the perch where
he had a
the
perch
eagle
on his
head
cock?
was coming out.
Yeah, the eagle's really like getting him off right there. Like you could see
Right.
the vein between the talons, right?
a little talon hand job.
Yeah.
And he loved showing this thing off. He would do like handstands and pull his cock out.
I mean, if you got it, flaunt it.
First
Like,
time he met Ozzy Osbourne was at a bar and he had tattoos, and Ozzy knew who he was, and he was a little starstruck. And Oliver Reed comes up. Oh, I'll tell you, I see you. I've noticed you have some tattoos. Military? Oh, no, just tattoos.
Tattoos.
He goes, oh, I must tell you, I have a tattoo too. Would you like to see it? There you go. There's Ozzy Osbourne looking at Oliver Reed's cock.
Oh, man, that's some fucking good
Yeah.
shit.
Another person to confirm this was Patrick Warburton.
Oh.
In the beginning of his career, of Family Guy
Wait,
fame.
like the
Yeah.
tick?
Yeah, the guy who talks like
Yeah,
this.
fucking Seinfeld the tick. And wait, so Patrick Warburton saw his cock.
Yes.
Wow.
So
That's fire.
how many people can we confirm have seen his dick at this point?
Well, at least 2, but more than that. We know a lot more.
Non-sexual.
So Keith
Non-sexual.
Moon,
That's right.
definitely seen it.
Yeah.
I feel like he's just hanging out. Ozzy Osbourne.
But it was Keith Moon
this
died.
guy.
Well, no, Keith Moon was
Keith
there
Moon
when he
definitely
got
saw it before
Yeah,
he
okay.
died.
I'm weird about showing
He probably
my cock.
watched it get printed.
Yeah.
What's that, Mike?
Like showing your cock off? I'm kind of weird about that. I don't know.
It
Showing
was
my
it was a
cock.
prank. He loved doing the prank.
All right.
But like,
I
don't get.
I think Travis can attest to it. They're in England. They just don't really give a shit about nudity the way Americans
No.
do.
Let me like.
It really it's really a different cultural thing where it's like it's not that weird to just see.
You pull your cock
nudity.
out.
Well, they have a
I'm like, I
hood.
don't even know
They
you.
have a hood over their
They
dick,
got the
so-
hood. They got the hood.
Yeah.
So
Oh, he just like flashes it a little bit, like a little zip.
He showed the whole thing.
Oh,
So, first time he meets Patrick Warburton, he's just like,
do you think he incorporated the hood into the tattoo where like you can pull it back and you don't see it and you push it forward?
Oh,
that would be fun.
that's
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
was.
yeah. So
Look at my
we've
lightsaber.
definitely talked about it before, but can we go round robin? What would you get tattooed on your dick?
we've definitely talked about. I don't.
Maybe we have, maybe we haven't. I don't
I
know.
wouldn't go the Talon method.
I get like flames or something.
It couldn't have been good. I mean, apparently he was driving all over town trying to find a guy who would do it, and he wouldn't happen. But
Yeah.
it's there.
Yeah.
Travis, I don't know.
Checkerboard, maybe.
Are you saying I have to get a dick tattoo?
Yeah, you have to get a dick tattoo. Like Regis Philbin's like, would you like to be a millionaire? And he's like,
All right.
okay.
If I had to get a dick tattoo, I think I would get like scales to make it look like the worm from Dune.
That's fine.
I like that. Mike.
What about you, Mike?
Either flames or checkerboards.
Flames would be sick.
Flames would be
It'd be
cool.
pretty hot.
I was picturing
everyone know. Hot
I was
Cheeto
picturing
dick.
like a skateboard for you.
Would the flames be coming from the tip or from the base?
It would be like when it erects. It's like a piercing.
Right, it's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
The
coming
hot
back.
rod. You're going
Yeah,
hot.
I'm
rod.
getting
All
hot.
Okay,
I'm hot.
okay.
Okay.
I gotta have sex quick. Come on, let's go. And that's how it happens.
That's cool.
Never.
I think I would just get a small pair of pit vipers over the tip.
Oh, you're a sick fuck.
Why? That'd be sick.
That is so racist of you to say that.
What? Pit vipers?
I mean, rude.
Not racist. Rude.
I've been called racist for less.
What a rude comment you made.
Travis, what about you? Are we doing barbed wire? What's going
No,
on?
I think I would.
I know a
tribal?
No, I think I would do like a chicken wing, and I'd be like, "Can I?"
You wouldn't get a shrimp?
No, I'd do a chicken wing, and I'd be, "Can I dip it in your ranch sauce?"
Is it boneless or boned?
This is terrible.
Yeah,
Is it boneless or
No,
bone?
no, dude, it's
we know
bones,
it's bone.
dude.
We know it's bone in
Fuck,
because
dude.
only Mike is the loser that likes
Yeah,
boneless.
no.
Is it a drum or a flat?
It's a drum. It's a drum.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
a choke.
You would get a fucking
Choke.
wing.
Mike, that's a chicken
Get a
nugget.
fucking wing.
Mike, that's a chicken nugget. I would have said chicken nugget.
Get a breast. I would get a breast around my.
Either way, look, guys.
All
Ollie
right,
Reed-
cut that out.
Ollie Reed
Zwick.
got talent.
no, Zwick, make
So
that
cut
louder.
that the fuck out. I
I'm
swear to
cutting this
God.
episode.
Yeah.
Look, either way, you got Ollie Reed walking around the finest English gentleman going, do you want to see my cock? And the first time a young 22-year-old Patrick Warburton goes,
Yeah.
Sure,
no
why
way,
not?
you have a cock tattoo, Mr. Reed? What a pleasure to meet. Whoa.
I'd love to see it.
Oh.
Actually, that's a weird thing because they were down making a film. This is like at the point in Ollie Reed's career where he couldn't get on a major film set because his antics were so crazy and no one wanted to deal with him. It had to do with the insurance companies too. There were people who wanted to work with him, and insurance companies would go, "We're not insuring that actor."
Fucking
Yeah.
AIG.
Right. So check this out. This is somewhat questionable. He did a film. The one he did with Patrick Warburton was down in South Africa during apartheid.
Oh.
Which was a huge no-no to the rest of the film industry and Hollywood and stuff. But they were like, "Fuck it, we need money." And Patrick Warburton's like, "Yeah, fuck it."
All right, let's do it.
Yeah,
He plays the guy in the wheelchair in Family Guy, right?
yeah. He's like Peter. Peter.
Well, at that
It's
point
me,
he was
Patrick.
just Elaine's boyfriend. So
Wasn't he also in
Tiny eyes,
Everyone loves-
great-sized eyes.
Everyone Loves Raymond? Isn't he his brother?
no,
He's Raymond.
Who's his brother? Is that Chris Wells?
No, he's a different guy. They
No,
look very
different guy.
similar.
They sound the same too.
Not
Yeah.
at all. No.
No.
The other guy sounds like this. He's like, "Ray, why'd you pluck my car? Where's my car? I
That
told you to
sounds just
move."
like
No,
fucking
whereas Patrick
Joe.
Warburton's like this, where he doesn't have the
Patrick
New York
War-
accent.
Patrick Warburton sounds like he's pushing every word through a small slit in his
It's
throat.
really.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's really hard for him to talk.
he just got a
Little
he
low
just,
like
he just
that.
got a
That's gonna be fucked
Slurpee,
up.
and he's trying to get it through that weird part, like not the regular part of the straw, but the fucking scoop part of the straw.
The flat,
yeah.
flat part that you
Well,
scoop up the bottom with.
The rest
Thank
of
you,
this
Travis.
episode is just going to be us doing our best Patrick Warburtons.
Part 1, the life
Anyway,
of
guys.
life of Ollie
Yeah.
Reed. Part 2, Patrick Warburton.
We've got to continue doing the show now, guys.
Keep going. Keep
Hold
going,
still
Tom.
now. Here's my, let's get back into it. So anyway, he's out there with his cock tattoo, having a great time.
See that cock.
Okay. He's got the cock tattoo. We covered it. He was always asked of his opinion of women's lib and rights movements on these
Oh,
shows.
was he a fucking Sean Connery who was just like, shut the fuck up and slapped his fucking female interviewer?
Yeah, that's why he would have been a great 70s Bond.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Yeah, in spirit, absolutely, they were. But he was far more eloquent than Connery could be about it.
Yeah.
When he wanted to be. A lot of kitchen talk, a lot of that.
What does that mean? Kitchen talk.
Stay in the kitchen. That's where women belong.
Well, who's that
That
bitch?
type of
Fucking Barbara.
Streisand.
No, not Barbara.
Waters,
No,
Barbara
Barbara
Walters.
Walters was the one who had
And-
the Sean Connery
Yeah.
interview where Connery is like, you should be allowed to hit
Dude,
women."
I want to fucking
He's
hit
like-
Barbara
she's like, "What?"
Walters. She sucks.
he had these traditionalist values. He believed in the family unit, and like, you know, a woman, if a guy's providing, a woman should stay home, take care of the kids, and yada yada yada. And he was very open about, like, if a woman is working and a man is working, the woman shouldn't necessarily be in the kitchen. But he would ham it up, like, as he got prodded by these women's groups and the talk shows kept bringing it up, he got crazy for his statement on women should be in the kitchen on their hands and knees scrubbing the floor. He says, in return, I feed them, wine them, make them laugh, and give them a punch on the nose and a good kicking when they need it.
when they need it.
When they need it.
Not always.
need it.
Get
Yeah,
out of
Not
line.
always.
Exactly.
Punch in the nose.
Stop going through my phone.
There is this great great clip where he's on a show, and I want to play the clip. You know what, Tom, play the clip.
Tom, play it.
I gotta see this clip. I can't just not.
Anyway,
A lot of non sequiturs tonight. Things just kind of trail off, and
she's all right. She can't shout at us now.
yeah, she's
So much for women's lib. Who's the lady that shouted?
Do they have a women's lib movement big in England also?
Always,
Oh, it's
always.
all over
But
now.
the women in England are quite good. They're always in the kitchen, so you can't hear them when they shout.
You think that's where they should be? Huh?
I think that most women are very happy. I really think that most women are happy in the kitchen, not because they like. Men make the best chefs. When you ever go to a hotel and find the chef is a woman, madam?
I think
Shakespeare wasn't a bird, madam. And neither's Johnny Cross.
I think if they paid women in the kitchen as much as they pay chefs in a hotel, women would love to be in the kitchen.
I think that basically women are very happy in the kitchen simply because it means that they're feeding their children and looking after their man. I think that the time arises when a woman is put out to work. And I think then when she comes back and says, oh, I've had a heavy day, and the husband arrives at the same time, that's a bad deal, because then they're going to fight who's going to cook and who's going to wash up.
Yeah.
I think that a woman's place is looking after her man and her children, and I think a man's place is to look after her, to protect her, and provide her with a little warmth. I really do believe
You have the old-fashioned concept, right?
Yeah, but it's fairly sweet. I mean, the women's liberationists, if they thought about that. Shh. Quiet, woman. Women's liberationists.
Well, yeah. Okay, so just to break it down to everyone at home, Shelley Winters, during that big applause, Shelley Winters runs out and pours a cup of whiskey all over Oliver Reed's head. Now, she was on the interview earlier, and they're on the Johnny Carson show. And, he's just telling his bit, and he hams it up, and he's so eloquent that it's got to be frustrating.
He had like command of that.
Kind of like it.
Yeah.
Very soft-spoken man.
Honestly, when you have a sense of humor, what's not to like? One more clip here.
A woman will never, ever forgive a man that he fucks her. She is the receiver.
Never forgives him if he doesn't.
I'll buy that, sir. I'll buy that. So we walk in every plank, in every regiment, in every corps, in everything. But you are the receivers. You take our seed, you look after our babies, and we'll go do the hunting for you.
I don't believe in the death penalty, but I can see that there is a strong public argument on that.
There is, and there's a passionate public feeling about the death penalty.
Do I have to, am I expected to?
No, of course you're not expected to put up with that. Oliver, please. Please. It's clearly upset Kate.
I'm very sorry. Very sorry. Just had a slash came over here.
Sorry, but I mean, that's aggressive, it's obnoxious.
I know.
Is that something you want to visit upon someone you've invited to your program?
I think it is unacceptable.
Oliver, you've been a bore.
Sorry.
You've been a bore, and you know you have.
Sorry.
Right.
Do you really mean the Sarah?
No, he doesn't.
Do you want me to go?
No.
I'd love it if you would. I think you're an awful bully. And I think it's appalling that anybody should have to put up with it.
Do you want me to go?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do.
Gentlemen?
I think you should.
I think that's the collective opinion.
Good night.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Ladies. Good night.
All right, so in that clip, we just watched Oliver Reed on a talk show.
Not available on the
Something
West
after dark.
Coast because we're enlightened.
Yeah, Travis actually, he wasn't allowed to watch it because he's in a place where they care too much to be educated.
Did I miss?
Mike passed out.
Mike fell asleep.
He's done.
All right. So let me wrap this up. Oliver Reed gets extra funny about 20 years later, 1991, I believe, in the After Dark special where they're talking about men's violence against women, and he smooches a feminist, does sexual assault right there. It's
Right
very
on
funny.
television.
Sexual assault.
Right on television.
Back then, they didn't count it. They were like, it's whatever.
They're all like, hey, you should leave. And he's like, all right.
And he's like,
I should leave. You're right.
Yeah, you folks at home.
Oh, that's what
heard
that
it. You
struggle
didn't see
was
it.
I was seeing out of the corner of my eye.
That was a struggle. Yes, the struggle of you staying away.
You know what's really hilarious is that the Man Show existed, but now Jimmy Kimmel's like enlightened. Woke
right?
boy.
That's what I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's a woke
Man
boy.
Show.
Right. So his friends and family knew that he could be a little abusive, like towards anyone. It wasn't really like a woman thing.
He's just bipolar, you think?
No, it wasn't even
No, it was
bipolar.
just-
He would just get moody and drunk and just
Yeah.
like hit anyone
Yeah.
around him.
It was very touchy-feely.
Now
He was
there's
a dick to everybody.
Yeah, there's one creepy thing on his record, so we should get it out there. In 1985, he met Josephine Burge. They married a few years after they had met, but she was only 16 when they met, and he was 42.
But that
They're-
that is creepy. But also,
There's no
16
boundaries.
is legal in the UK, which is weird.
Their wedding photos are creepy.
Yes.
Yeah,
They are weird.
Granddaughter and grandpa?
it's very weird.
It looks much more like a bride posing with pictures of her, like with her dad
Dad,
before the ceremony, yet the dad is doing the poses that a groom should do.
Yeah, it's not good.
Not good. Not
Let me
good.
touch your vagina.
Oliver.
But then, like the other pictures of them together, it's like, oh, they seem like they're in love.
No,
Like,
honestly, they seem to have a pretty
I mean,
okay
and they
relationship.
stayed together until he died. Like and there was no reported problems or anything. It was still just creepy.
That
Just
was a
little
big deal
creepy.
about fucking the last movie that Heath Ledger did, right? Where he fucking choked himself to death in the movie.
Brokeback Mountain?
What are you
No.
talking? Oh well,
Dr. Parnassus.
No, 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, that was a Terry Gilliam movie. He did do one Terry Gilliam movie. He did Baron Munchausen in '88.
Oh.
He was in that.
Baron Munchausen.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
but that was a
fun
big
one.
thing in that movie because they're like, hey, the fucking person that dead Heath Ledger is supposed to be banging is 16. And they had three
Right.
other men bang her.
Well, that's just
That's how
Hollywood.
England is.
Right.
England.
Okay, so he starts taking more forgettable roles, one of which was A Lion in the Desert, which is a 1981 Libyan historic epic war film about the Second Italiano-Senussi War. The film was actually funded by Muammar Gaddafi.
Oh!
That's fine.
And if you think that's fun, 2 years later, he did a Saddam Hussein-funded Iraq glory piece called Clash of Loyalties. Reed went on a full rampage during the filming of that one. They could not fucking keep him under control because he was under Saddam Hussein protection. So he just destroyed every single hotel he was at. And that's why he's fun, guys.
And there's probably no alcohol allowed in the country except for like his personal collection.
Yeah,
that
pretty
he
much.
brought.
Whatever he wanted, he got. But also, if he couldn't get wine bottles, if he couldn't get wine or liquor, he would piss in wine bottles and then serve them to other tables. That was one thing he loved doing. He used to hang out, piss in a
dickhead.
bottle, and go, send it to that table. That's complimentary. It's a very
This is
good
a
wine.
fine white. Fine
It's
white
aged.
for me, boys.
Guys, we've been recording for 4 hours tonight, so I think it's important that Mike, the star of the show, asked me how he did it.
How did this beautiful human being die of
Mike,
a
no,
beautiful death?
no, Mike, talking to the microphone when you ask the fucking only question you have to ask in this show.
How does this guy die, Tom?
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Are you? Have you? Did you look this up before, Mike?
Oliver Reed?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, Travis. Do you know
I was
how he
not
dies?
told to do research.
I mean, I know that he starred in an excellent movie, historically accurate, about a man in Rome that beat his housemaid to death with a phone.
One of his most well-known roles of all time.
Yes. So by the mid '90s, Oliver's doctor told him to chill on the drinking. He didn't really follow suit on that. He's approaching his 60s, and he had some kidney issues and gout from excessive living, if you want to call it that. He did start after a while to limit his drinks to weekends and pretty much stuck to beer, but he never really stopped. Oliver Reed was ready to make his big film comeback. Since he wasn't drinking as much, he was like, I could do this seriously again. And a lot of old guys would do stuff like that. They disappear for a while. So, a film with a big Hollywood budget. That's what he got involved with.
Okay, Oliver.
The one that would have put him clean back on the map.
Oh, good old Riddle Scott.
That's right. Riddle Scott's Gladiator. He was Proximo, the slave dealer. The film's location was in Malta, and Oliver had been on his best behavior during the shoot. He agreed to not drink, and there was nothing in his contract, but he said, while we're doing this, I won't drink. But in his own mind, he was like, on weekends, maybe I'll have a drink.
It was like the promise that I won't drink when we're working.
Right.
Yeah. But I'll drink when we're not working.
If we ever go on tour, that's what I'm going to do. Except it'll be always
straight edge.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
So on Sunday, May 2nd, 1999, Oliver was walking around Valletta, which is Malta's capital, also a naval hub for a lot of many countries. They have
think San Diego of the Mediterranean.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
A lot of guys in shiny pants, being all. So a bunch of Royal Navy men. He runs into him. He goes, "Oh, I love the Navy. I love the military.
I love the Queen."
So my guess is that Oliver's love of the British military got them talking. And as soon enough, he found himself in a drinking competition with 5 men. And after beating all of them in an arm wrestling contest and drinking 8 beers, 12 shots of rum, half a bottle of whiskey, and a few shots of Hennessy, Oliver died of a heart attack right there in the pub.
Sheesh.
He was buried in Churchtown, Cork County, right by O'Brien's bar, where he loved to spend his time. What an appropriate thing.
How old was he?
63, right? 61.
He didn't make it to the good year.
He looked like shit, though. If you look at him, he looks like he's in his mid-70s.
I mean, you see Proximo and Gladiator, and you're like, that's a 75-year-old man.
Yeah. Exactly.
You're like, that is a 75-year-old man.
He's
right
not
there.
in his 60s. Dude, The Rock is almost 60.
What? No,
That's insane.
You're lying.
That's sad.
He's in his
also.
50s, right? That's almost
sad
60.
for me. He is. So there you go. There's Oliver Reed, one of the finest men we've ever covered, an accidental 2-part episode.
One thing I want to mention about his role as Proximo, as we mentioned before, he was starred closely alongside Russell Crowe.
Right.
And here's what Russell Crowe had to say of one Oliver Reed.
Ooh.
I never got on with Ollie. He has visited me in my dreams and asked me to talk kindly of him. So I should. But we never had a pleasant conversation.
Dude, that's because he's a fucking dirty Aussie that fucking beats people with fucking payphones.
Oi.
Yeah, fuck Russell Crowe.
He's basically Colin Firth.
We never had a pleasant conversation.
If Colin Firth used a private phone to beat someone.
Yeah. And then another one of the actors from the movie said, like, he should have just left the pub and he'd still be alive, but he didn't.
Yeah, no, that's entirely true.
If he just left the pub, he would be alive.
He may have died the following year or following month, but Oliver Reed, I must say, I am emotionally invested in this man. I appreciate our listeners, and you guys for, look, either way, I was very emotionally invested in this man. I watched a bunch of his films. I couldn't stop thinking of him. When I was at Who Are These Podcasts, I ran into a guy who looked a lot like him.
You
not
fuck his
as
dick?
handsome, but I didn't suck his dick. But I told
Did
him.
you see his dick? Did he have
Fuck his
talons on his dick?
No, he was not as talented. This man.
No talents. I'm going to say this. He didn't really seem like that bad of a guy. Sounds like...
Would you say he's like an amazing guy?
He seems like a pretty interesting man. Not the greatest guy.
I would describe him as a great hang.
Connor,
but not a great guy.
What was the title of the show now? You were saying Toast Mortem?
This sounded like a toast
this is a toast mortem.
Like we're complimenting this.
2
guy.
episodes of toast mortem.
To me,
Tom's got a man
his biggest
crush, so we're
drawback
saying.
is that he was a fan of Margaret Thatcher.
Oh, yeah.
That to me is his biggest drawback.
He didn't like punk rock, I'm guessing.
Yeah, no, clearly he must have fucking hated punk rock.
Yeah.
What's the point of punk rock? You can't. His ideology was you have to know the rules before you break them.
Yeah.
He would do everything he could to make a ruckus. Something like he couldn't go out to dinner without breaking someone's finger or something by accident.
No, Tom.
Being the center of attention.
Tom, can I did not do any research on this shit.
All right, then please.
But
interject.
this is his motto. You have to get hard and get drunk. In that order.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or
Pretty much.
Or also
respect
get
that
drunk
quote.
and get hard. So not in that order.
He had.
I think you're on the right track.
Yeah.
Get drunk and get soft.
Because like when you're hard, your testosterone's beaten, and you're just like, let me fucking smash bottles over my head. This is the most aggressive. This is why it's a travesty that he wasn't James Bond. Because James Bond would be like, Russia's gonna nuke fucking Great Britain. Who gives a shit? I'm a fucking Boris in his fucking dick.
I'm gonna beat the KGB with my fists until they stop the nukes.
You know, Travis, it's funny you say that because you've embodied that man. He famously said the point of his life is to shaft the birdies and drink the sherbies.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What a line.
That's it. Yeah. That's all he wanted to do. Look, go look into Oliver Reed. We just scratched the surface with a 2-part episode. The man, you could write a fucking book about every day of his life.
Can you reread the quote you opened with? Because I think it would be fitting now with knowing his life about how much he loved the pub people.
I do not live in the world of sobriety, and there's a better class of person at the pub.
Wow.
Mike is asleep. This is 2 parts. Thank you for listening to Roast Mortem Cast. Mike, if you've made it through 2 weeks of our shows, you're better than Mike. Mike is a terrible person.
What do you mean?
Mike,
I'm just resting my eyes, listening very carefully.
That's what's important. I'm just glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. Connor, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
Travis, I'm glad we were able to do this together. I'm glad that you're listening to the show.
Travis, Shay's going back on, fucker.
Yeah, put those pit vipers on to rest your eyes.
Yeah. Also, I'm a little toasty.
Tom's high as
We're all
fuck.
toasty. We've been drinking Newcastles
I feel
all
sober.
night.
I'm going to go get another drink, and then I'm going to go to sleep because I don't want to cause a ruckus.
All right. Well, I'm going to go cause a ruckus. I'm going to go break the town of Huntington. Thanks for listening. Patreon.com. Patreon.com/roastmortemcast. Find us there. Do your thing. We love you very much.
I need money. Please donate, please.
Yeah.
Mike, if
Mike
you
needs a
could
hat.
stay awake during an episode, I'd give you maybe more money than I've
What do
already
you mean?
given
When
you.
was I asleep?
Mike,
was
you
I
remember
asleep?
when I gave you money? Fucking make
And
it back, dog.
And I
Look, my lights out,
successfully
dude.
invested it.
My lights turned off. The show's over.
Patreon.com.
We never
and
signed
tell
a
us what's there.
contract.
Mike, I'm gonna break your fucking legs.
We never shook hands physically.
Thank
Mike,
you, Shane.
you did research on Gotti. Guess what? I'm fucking hard peeny.
Well,
And my hard
Tom's
peeny's
whispering in my
gonna fucking
ears.
break your
It's
fucking
always
legs.
Yo, bring it, guy. I got my fucking crews ready.
Consider yourself at home.
Consider yourself.
Are you,
Good night,
fucking
dog.
kidding me?
Consider yourself part of the family.
Lizzie was singing that to me. And I was like, I have no idea where this is from.
It's clear.
She's like, you've never seen Oliver?
Going to get along.
I was like, I
Orly.
have no fucking
Oi,
clue.
in it.
This concludes our episode of Rush Limbaugh.